Podcasts you love.
From people you trust.
This is Twit.
Hi, this is Leo Laporte, and this is my Tech Guy podcast. This show originally aired on Saturday, November 5th, 2022, with my co-tech guy, Micah Sargent. This is episode 1941. Enjoy. This episode of the Tech Guy is brought to you by IT Pro TV. Join a community of IT learners who access 5,800 plus hours of IT skills at training courses and interact with each other and subject matter experts to better themselves, better their organizations, better their careers. Get 30% off when you sign up today at itpro.tv/twit. Don't forget to use the code TWIT30 at checkout. And by Cashfly. Deliver your video on the network with the best throughput and global reach, making your content infinitely scalable. Go live in hours, not days. Learn more at cashfly.com. Hello. Hey. It's me, Leo Laporte, the Tech Guy with Micah Sargent. Your Tech Guy too. 8888 Ask Leo. If you want to talk tech, what is tech?
Tech. It's stuff that has electronics in it.
Stuff we all have.
Stuff we all have.
Yes.
Stuff we all get. Swag.
Yeah.
And stuff we all tech. SWAT? I don't know.
Stuff we all tech. I like it. We're probably not going to adopt it, but
No.
I want to say, well done.
Thank you.
Good effort.
Thank you.
It is about computers, the internet, home theater, digital photography, smartphones, smartwatches, and a little later on, I'm going to strap my companion here into the latest Mark Zuckerberg joint, a visor. You're going to get two little handsets, and we're going to make you walk Richie's plank.
Walk the plank.
Yesterday, or last week, I guess, we were talking about this new Oculus Pro Quest. It's a Quest Pro 2. I guess they dropped the Oculus. The Quest Pro 2, which is Meta's new $1,600 visor.
Oof.
Now, you have the Quest 2.
I do, yes.
So I think it's, first of all, I would like to know if this is worth, how much was the Quest, 300?
Yeah, 300 for me. Now it's $399 to $499.
Okay. Is it worth price. 4 times more is the first question.
Mm-hmm.
Second question is, can you walk the plank? Because this game, Richie's Plank, it's called. It's just a little game. It's not there's other things. I've been, dancing with my lightsabers and stuff. But this thing, you go up in an elevator in a high rise. It's not even super realistic. It's kind of cartoony. And then there's a plank. The door opens and you're looking out over the city and there's a long way down. And then there's this little skinny plank and you're supposed to walk out on it. And even though your brain says, oh, you're perfectly safe here in the studio, Leo will catch you if you fall. Your body goes, I ain't walking out there.
Not for me.
Nope.
Not today.
Not gonna do it. So I'm just curious if your mind can overcome your body. But the thing to me, whether or not, I couldn't, to be honest with you. But Lisa just went, what do you mean? I just walk right out. So my wife is very good at this. But then she got nauseated.
Disbelief, yeah.
Yeah, but then she got nauseated. So
that's my concern.
Maybe
honestly.
there's a tie-in. Anyway.
That's a good point. Because if you don't get nauseated, then your brain is, in theory, more likely to believe that you are in
pliable.
that situation.
Yeah. I don't know. I guess I have a pretty pliable, not brain, body. It's my contention that your mind, your rational mind, knows you're safe. Mm-hmm. It's just some visceral kind of body reaction that keeps you from walking out
I think
there.
people forget that the nervous system is not just the brain. It is all parts of your body communicating.
Yeah. Or it could be part of your brain, like the lizard brain.
Yeah, the underlying. Yeah, that's what the lizard sounds.
And your higher brain goes, well, it's perfectly safe. Could be having a conversation. You tell me. You're going to tell me. We're going to do that a little later on in the show. Also,
I'll let you know.
Yes. No Sam, right, this week, because Sam's on the road.
He's on Sunday anyway.
Oh, yeah, right. Is Scott here? I think Scott's here.
Scott's here, as far
Somebody's
as I
not going to be here. I don't know. Johnny Jett? No, he's here. Dick DiBartolo, our gizmo guy. Yes, he's here. And I'm here, and you're here. And so,
here, yeah.
8888 Ask Leo. Nothing happened this week worth reporting.
No. Honestly, there's...
Unless you work for Twitter.
Yeah. A lot of people got laid off.
Yeah, I'm so sorry. I am so sorry. Although, The New Yorker had an interview with one person who didn't get laid off who said, I kind of wish I had.
Did you see, I saw some new reports, and again, these are just, I heard from sources about how the layoffs happened and how it was structured based on code submissions. And people are saying, if you lay off the people who did not put in as much code,
that's dumb.
You're maybe laying off the people who are working on the harder problems.
Yeah. No, I can't. Well, so we don't really know.
Right, exactly. That's what this does.
It's pretty clear that if an owner comes in on Thursday and fires half the staff on Monday or Friday or whatever the following week, how could you possibly know who's good and not at that point?
Right. It's too soon.
And you can't trust the people in the company because they're going to say, well, I don't like him. He's no good. Get rid of him. That's not necessarily the way to judge. And you can't do what apparently Musk did, which is bring in engineers from a different company entirely.
Using different code bases. And
working on a different problem. And they come in and judge. So I don't understand how you could do this. The Warren Act in California prevents him from just, you're out of here. If it's a layoff, a mass firing, he has to give you warning. So those people were locked out. He said, don't come in on Friday because many of you will be gone. You're going to get an email. Everybody open that email. It's like a party favor. Some of you, the email will say, congratulations, you're fired.
Still here. Oh, yeah, exactly. I guess it depends.
And the others will say, I'm so sorry, you still work for Elon. But those people were fired. There were stories of people in a conference call on just disappearing.
Yeah.
They were disappeared. But the good news is they get 60 days of pay. They don't have to work.
Got it.
They don't have to do anything, but their paycheck will keep coming for 2 months to honor the Warren Act.
That's because it's a California company?
It's a law. Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
I don't know what it's going to happen to Twitter employees all over the world. There are many. And I don't think we really know until the smoke clears how bad this is going to be.
Right. Jack, did you see Jack tweeted?
Mr. Dorsey, the former CEO? Yeah, what did he say?
Former CEO tweeted, he said that he understands why people are mad at him and he takes responsibility.
Oh, thank you.
Because he says that it is his fault because he
pay my rent, Jack?
Yeah, he grew the company too quickly is what he says. And so that's why so many people are being let go because he grew the company too quickly.
It's very possible that there were too many people. That happens. I just don't know how you could know that in less than a week.
That's,
and it's just risky to do that. It seems bad management to do that, to be honest with you. Now, I managed a little company, not a big company, but it seems like a bad idea all around.
I mean, think about I don't think Elon cares about.
Elno. Is that what we're going to call him? I like it. Elno.
That's what a lot of people on Twitter are calling him to keep themselves safe from the Elon stands.
Yeah.
And so I got confused there, but that I don't think that he cares about morale, but I think that as a leader, it is important to care about morale. And I think that firing half of the people who work at the company.
There's a long tradition of this in business. A private equity company, or in this case, a private individual, comes along and takes a lot of debt. Elon's got $13 million of debt, $1 billion a year in interest payments alone. So they're that's called a leveraged. They're leveraged. They didn't spend their money; they borrowed money to do it. But that puts a lot of pressure on you. These private equity companies. There was a guy named Chainsaw Al Dunlap.
Okay.
Some years ago, who became famous for this. They come in, they buy the company, they fire people, they ruthlessly cut expenses. They sometimes sell off bits of the company. Their mission number one is to pay off this debt. Maybe because they want to keep running the company down the road, but most often what seems to happen is they just chop it up in a little bit. It's like if somebody steals your car. Do they want to drive the car? No. They want to chop it up and sell the pieces and make some money on it. And that's there's a long history of private equity coming in and doing that. We see it over and over again. Happened with newspapers, happened with radio stations, happened with all the stuff that the internet kind of put a kibosh to. This is the first time I can remember it happening to an internet-first company.
Yeah.
Maybe we're coming to that point in time where the internet-first companies are now old companies and need to be chopped into little pieces and sold for parts. I don't know. it can't be good in the long run for Twitter. The thing that concerns me and a lot of people most is we have an election in a few days. Mm-hmm. Almost said a week. No, 3 days. And Twitter was a very popular place to put up misinformation, election fraud stuff, all sorts of stuff. And they fired, I think, a lot of the people who will be watching that. So anyway, it's just interesting. It's just an interesting development. And honestly, I'm fine. That's
how I feel about it.
It's just a company.
At the end, yeah.
It's just a company. I think one of the things, though, that we have to realize is just because somebody's in the 3 comma club, they have billions, doesn't make them smart. Doesn't mean they were smart to get there, mm-hmm. honestly. Mm-hmm. And I think you're seeing an example of somebody who kind of bit off more than he could chew. He tried to get out of it. It's like a dog that caught the car, and they chased the car, and then the car stops, and the dog goes, and then somebody said, well, you got to bite the tire. You caught us. And he doesn't, I don't want to bite the tire. You got to bite the tire. You caught it. I don't want to bite the tire. Finally, okay, I'll bite the tire. And then chaos ensues. Yeah. So that's, I think, where we are right now. 88. Anyway, just some thoughts. Are you a big Twitter user?
No, not these days.
Yeah, I used to be. I'm one of those, people with 500,000 followers. Whether those are real people, I don't know. But I don't mind. We'll take your calls next. Leo and Mike are the tech guys. I don't care. It's okay. I don't mourn its loss.
Increasingly, I'm just a person who doesn't interact with anybody.
Yeah.
So
you've okay. So now I'm just saying, mm-hmm. This is what happens when people first get in the public eye. They kind of go crazy a little bit. I got followers, I got fans, and then they realize this is not all it's cracked up to be. And then they slowly, gently, gradually withdraw. And I've long ago become that.
I've been in the public eye since 2012 when I was a news anchor.
10 years, a decade.
And
how long did it take you before you realized it's not all it's...
So I would say in 4 years of doing that's when I realized that was the first realization, which is there are a lot of weird people out there. And then probably 6 years was whenever it was like, yeah, I don't think I need any of this.
Yeah. It's just, it brings you down, man.
Yeah.
Which is too bad because, of course, the ideal would be to interact with people. I mean, what we've done here is we've narrowed the scope. So we have the IRC, which you're seeing right now. We have the Discord. We have, a small
these little communities.
Cadre. Small communities work well.
I agree. And I want to be clear. I love the folks that are in these communities and, enjoy those conversations. What I'm talking about is the larger, because you exist in many different places, then you get these drive-bys that just make it not fun to, participate. And I had that realization a long time ago. And I mean, I think I do go through waves of more interaction and less interaction, but for the most part, I occasionally scroll through Twitter, but I very rarely tweet anymore.
Yeah, I only tweet commercial, promotional things, not personal things, and it's kind of become that way with Insta too, where I just. But you posted your cactus costume.
That tweet or that Instagram post was the first one in a while.
Yeah. When we travel, I like to post pictures just because people, I think family and friends want to keep up.
Yes. And that's kind of what I still is for friends. I showed my cactus costume because I wanted to show my friends who would think it was funny.
Yeah, we enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Now everybody knows, and you're going to have a flood of cactus haters.
Yeah, all of you out there who've ever been poked by a cactus can go and say, how could you post a cactus
my God.
photo? Did you not think of my pain?
Did you not think? Oh, my God.
I was trying to do an easy costume, and then it took forever. Because you have
That
to,
looked like a.
you have to place all of those
Oh, you thought it would be easy, and it didn't. Wasn't
Yeah.
because you put the pipe cleaners in
hot
by
glued.
hand.
Yeah, pipe
You
cleaners.
hot glued them.
Yeah.
You didn't push them through the fabric.
I didn't push them through the fabric.
Ah,
I was
interesting.
hoping to be able to make use of the sweater afterward, just as a sweater. 'Cause
Oh
it's
yes,
green.
right.
I love
Because
green.
you don't want a lot of holes.
But I can't get the hot glue off, so it's
well, which
just
would be
a
more
cactus
damaging,
sweater.
a hot glue? Well, now you have a cactus forever.
I do.
Cactus sweater
Anytime I need to
forever.
be.
Did you crochet your cap?
I did not. No,
Oh,
I just
okay.
bought that too.
Okay.
It was last minute.
Lisa's out buying a Christmas tree right now. That's a little early.
Yeah, a little early.
We took down the Halloween costumes. We put up a few Harvest Festival items, but really the nutcrackers are also
a
going
live
out.
one?
No.
Okay.
No. The days are gone now that Michael's an adult. We used to get giant live because we have a cathedral ceiling in the living room, and we used to get like 20 foot, I don't know, it can't be 20, maybe 15 feet, huge trees.
I just can't. I've said this before. I can't believe that California allows us to have real live trees. And I'm not saying no Christmas trees. If they're fake, fine. But real live trees, when they dry, they're such a fire hazard.
Oh, it's such a fire hazard. Yeah. She's our candy girl.
Wow.
Yeah. In fact, Candy Girl,
Yes.
they did a whole ad for you over New York City
What?
yesterday.
Me?
Well, Candy Crush. That's you're my crush, and it's Candy. So I think that's you. I don't know.
The game?
Yeah, the game.
That old game?
People were so mad.
People are still
It-
playing
It was
that
a
game?
the Candy Crush folks wish you would. So they put 500 drones up in the night sky over New York City, forming the words Candy Crush.
Oh.
And there were a number of surprisingly large number of people who were very, very irritated. But anyway,
I'll have to look that up.
no one's irritated by our Candy Girl, Kim Schaffer.
Don't be don't be too sure of that.
Well, when you say no, you can't be on the show.
Exactly.
No, then maybe.
You know who you are.
But we thank you for doing that.
We thank you for your service, Kim. Kim Schaffer, the unbreakable phone angel. She's the one who answers your phone. Here's the. Well, I can't. Can I show you the picture? Oh, I can't. No, I can't. But there's a picture in our Discord of the backlash after 500 drones light up the New York sky.
What were people mad at? That the sky was lit up,
Yeah,
or just
it's our
because
sky.
they're-
How dare
they're
you?
drones.
Well, okay, here, I'll give you an example. We were all excited because Elon Musk was going to put internet in the sky so that everybody in the world would have access to inexpensive internet. And it turned out to be really expensive internet. He just announced there's going to be a 1 terabyte a month usage cap, which makes it pretty much useless for anything. But, the simplest applications for $129 a month. So it's just really not. And it's blocking the sky, and astronomers are really upset. You want to be upset.
Oh my.
Oh,
That's kind of cute.
cute. I like it.
I'm showing the picture of the.
I would have taken pictures
drones.
and videos. I would not have been upset.
No, and that one's temporary. The problem with Starlink is it's permanent. It's forever, at least until the satellites start to crash into the ground. Kim, who should we talk on that bright and chipper note? Who should we talk to?
Let's go to Jackie and Eugene. Help her set up her website and blog, please.
Oh yeah, that sounds like fun. That's what see. If you're thinking, oh, Twitter, I don't want to be with you anymore. Set up your own thing, right? All right.
You can go your own way, Jackie.
Go your own. Hi, Jackie, Eugene, Oregon. Welcome to the Tech Guy Show with Micah and Leo.
Thank you, Leo. I appreciate that. I've listened to you a long time,
Oh, wonderful.
and I'm looking on the internet, but I get so overwhelmed by all the options. And I've heard you talk about Squarespace, which I was on their site a minute ago, and somehow something happened, so I don't know what happened to them. Oh, there they go. Here's what I'm trying to do. I want to have a blog.
Yeah.
But I want to have a website too.
Well, that's kind of the
Same
same.
thing,
Yeah.
Okay, so they are the same.
Sure. You could have,
The
for
domain
instance,
name.
what's the website for? Is it for your business?
Well, it's sort of a nonprofit support.
Okay. So it's a thing. It's an entity. So you have a couple of choices. It's easy to have 2 blogs. That's not a problem. Or you can have multiple pages on your website. One is for the nonprofit. That's the front page maybe. And then in the menu at the top it says, and for my blog, go here. And that could be another page. So that could all be at the same place. The only negative on that is sometimes people in their blogs are talking about personal stuff that maybe doesn't match the mission of the business or the entity. So sometimes you want to separate, your personal life from your public life. That's fine too. So the easiest way to set up a blog or a website is to go to one of the companies that does this as a business, and there's quite a few. There's WordPress.com.
Okay.
Which is, in my opinion, the best. There's Squarespace, which is also quite good. Google has something called Blogspot that's very easy to set up. That's the old Blogger that Google bought some time ago. By the way, created by the guy who started Twitter. He took that money and created Twitter. And then there's things like Tumblr, TUMBLR.com. Tumblr and Blogger are free, but there may be ads on your site, which you may or may not want. But they are free. So if you want to pinch pennies, if money's tight, I think Tumblr. What do you think, Mike? Tumblr and Blogger?
I didn't even think about Tumblr, but yeah, Tumblr is a great place if you just want to do a blog. Yeah.
It's good for a personal blog. I wouldn't put a business on Tumblr.
Absolutely.
Especially now that Tumblr has just announced that they're going to allow nudity, not sexuality, but nudity, like art, like, photos and paintings and stuff. So that may be somewhere your nonprofit doesn't want to live. If you want to control it in a way that there's no ads and, it really, WordPress.com is a great choice. I mean, many big businesses use WordPress. The White House runs on WordPress. So, of the United States, that one.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's capable of handling a lot of traffic, of looking, like it's your personal site. Generally with Squarespace and WordPress, people end up hiring somebody to do it for them, only because to really make it, it depends how technical you are, how confident you are, Jackie, in doing this. It might be just for fun. It might be worth diving into. Both of them have a site builder tools that you can use, but they're not, sometimes they're a little confusing, even for a technical person, but it's certainly worth trying. And then both WordPress and Squarespace have many contractors who will help you. My suggestion is you set up the domain, you set up the site so it's all owned by you on your credit card. And then, and by the way, you can set up a domain with all of these. WordPress and Squarespace will do that for you.
Okay.
You just say, I want to create a domain, and then I want it to point to my site. That might be the easiest thing to do.
Okay.
And then if you hire a contractor, you give them the keys and say, okay, but I want to, because sometimes contractors will hold your site for ransom and stuff like that. So you kind of want to own, you don't know these people. You want to own the site before you let them work on it.
What does that typically cost to have a contractor doing that?
Well, it really depends. Some sites, it's just couple $100. You can price it out. There's a big market for these people.
Okay.
We were informed a few months ago that in order to update our site would be $250,000. So the range is broad.
Yeah, you can afford it.
No, I can't. No. Scott Wilkinson coming up, Leo and Micah, you're tech guys. Oh, I wish I could. Actually, it was 2 sites, and the Tech Guy Lab site we decided to fold into the other site so we wouldn't have to do 2 sites, and I think we were able to get a deal so it's down below 200,000. But it's a big commercial site, a professional site is expensive. But you're not it depends what you want to do, but you're not doing something like that. Yeah.
No, I'm not. And what is the difference with MailChimp? Do you ever...
MailChimp is not a website. MailChimp is a newsletter.
Oh, that's all they do. Okay.
Yeah.
I saw that one of the newsletters I get uses them, and which is
good. So that's a newsletter company, which
I wonder if they make a landing page for you.
I don't know.
I'm not sure.
They're owned by Intuit now.
Oh, that's right.
I'm not. There are other ways. Constant Contact is probably maybe another one you might look at if you want to do a mailing list. Mailing lists are problematic because nowadays there's so much spam. I don't know if people really
pay
much attention.
I probably would want to do something like that eventually, but Okay, so WordPress doesn't offer that. It would have to be something.
Oh, they might actually. You mean a newsletter? Yeah,
I know Squarespace does.
Yeah, I bet
run a
you
few
WordPress
sites on
does.
Squarespace. And yeah, so I'd imagine that WordPress
Yeah.
does. They're often in parity. So.
Both WordPress and Squarespace kind of want to be an all-in-one thing. Then if you're selling stuff, there's companies. I didn't even mention Wix, which is like Squarespace and WordPress, Wix.
Yeah.
And then if you're selling stuff, there's Shopify and BigCommerce. There are a bunch of sites that are designed to be websites that have stores on them.
Okay.
So it depends on how.
Possibility too.
Yeah, it depends on how.
Go to the foundation, to the organization.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think a lot of this you could do yourself. The thing that's nice about Blogspot and Tumblr is you definitely can do it yourself. You just choose a theme and there you go. The bad thing is there's ads on it.
Yeah.
You're kind of limited in what it can look like, and it's pretty obvious you're using Blogger and Tumblr. You're not.
Yeah.
So
I think I'd avoid the ads.
Yeah, and if you want to look more professional, now you said it's a nonprofit, so there may not be a lot of money on this, but depending on how hard you want to work and how much you want to study it, I think WordPress is probably very doable as a personal thing.
Okay. All right. Well, that's great feedback. That's very helpful. Thank you so much.
Sure, Jackie. I think it sounds like fun. How much time do you have?
So, well, I don't know, but I think I'm going to try it myself and see.
Yeah. There is a free tier for WordPress, which is ad supported, that you could just try, and then it's easy to pay for it and remove the ads.
Okay.
That's probably the way to go. And somebody's mentioning Weebly. That's another one. There are quite a few places like that.
And they all cost to have the domain name, right?
Domain name's cheap. Yeah, if you'd have a .com, it's usually it's less than $15 a year.
Yeah. What is?
A .com is usually $15 or less a year.
Oh, okay. Because I'm looking at Squarespace, and they're saying 20.
Yeah, well, they keep the extra 10 or whatever. 20 a year isn't awful either, right?
No, it's not.
Yeah.
I just was curious. Okay.
You don't want to get to the point where you have to fire half your staff in order to pay for the site.
Well, I am the staff.
Well, then especially.
I don't want to fire me.
No. Hey, a pleasure talking to you, Jackie. Have fun. And if you have more questions, call back.
Yeah, please do.
Thank you. I will.
All
Have
righty.
a great day.
Thanks. Hey, Scotty.
Hey, Leo. Hey, Micah.
Hello.
Why don't you do Scott?
Okay, can do that. And John, when you have that twit bug up on the Scott screen, it keeps shifting between the trademark one and the non-trademark one.
Oh, yeah, because it's a slideshow. Yeah. It's a slide. There was one slide without trademark, and they
it's
made
just
another one,
auto-playing.
and then it's auto-playing back
Got
and
it.
forth. Yeah, that happened. That also happened on Wednesday. Our show today brought to you by IT Pro TV. Love IT Pro TV. These are good friends. Tim and Don, I call them. I met them I think it was almost 10 years ago now. I met them at NAB, the National Association of Broadcasters. They were Tim Broom, Don Pizzette. I'm seeing them now in front of me. And I've seen them actually come up to me at NAB because we did a panel saying, we do IT training in the classroom, but we really like the idea of putting it on the internet. And I said, that's a great idea because it would make it accessible to more people. You could make it more affordable. You could keep it up to date. IT Pro TV was born. I take full credit. No, Tim and Don get all the credit. They've done such a great job. In fact, they built a beautiful facility. Lisa and I went out to Gainesville to see it some years ago. With 7 studios, they're running all day, Monday through Friday, creating new content. Because it turns out that's the key with IT training. You got to have up-to-date content at all times. IT is a wonderful business to be in. If you're new to the IT field, you want to get that first job, you got to get those certs. IT Pro TV is a great place to go. If you're an IT professional, you're already working in IT, but you want to recertify, get new certifications, get new skills, again, a great place. And most of the people who join IT Pro TV, to get started, stay because it's fun, it's great, you learn. Virtual learning solutions for everyone. They have IT training videos with every vendor, every skill, either to start or advance your IT career. It's like what we do. It's kind of a talk show format. There's chat going on. You can watch live. You can watch their on-demand, 5,800 hours of on-demand training. And like I said, they have all those studios because they keep it up to date. Every course is about 20 to 30 minutes, so you can watch it at your convenience. They also have interactive virtual labs, so you don't even need a Windows machine to set up a Windows server, Windows clients to do all of it. And if something goes wrong, because it will when you start, you close it did for me, you close the tab. It's just a tab in a browser, and you start over again. It's a hands-on approach. They also have IT certification practice tests, so before you take the real test, you can practice. I think that's probably the number one recommendation I'd have. Take the test before you take the test. Great online community. As I said, people stay at IT Pro TV. There are 220,000 people now in their online community. So there's great people to talk with, to learn from. And the instructors are in there too. They're the best instructors. They're all pros in the field who are actually working professionals, but they have a passion for the field that communicates, that makes you excited about it. They have Cybersecurity Podcast for November 9th, 2 p.m. Eastern. Daniel Lowry welcomes Gerald Auger. He's a PhD of Simply Cyber. November 17th, 2 p.m. Eastern, the IT Pro TV Turkey Bowl. They do this every year for Thanksgiving. Live games, gift giveaways for the holidays. It's a fun place to be. They've got social channels on LinkedIn and YouTube and Facebook too. Tim says it the best himself. We want to make life easier for people who want an IT career. Do it. Do it for yourself. Get 30% off when you sign up at itpro.tv/twit. Please use that address so they know you saw it here. The offer code TWIT30, 30% off. Sign up at itpro.tv/twit. Offer code TWIT30, itpro.tv. I love these guys, and I love what they're doing. Build or expand your IT career and enjoy the journey with IT Pro TV. And now back to the show.
Welcome back. Welcome back to the Tech Guy Radio Show, the show heard round the world. Joining us right now is Scott Wilkinson, the home theater geek. Hello, woo-hoo. Scotty.
Hey, Micah. Hey, Leo. How you guys doing?
We're great. How are you?
Glad to hear it. Yeah, I'm good. All is well in Santa Cruz.
Nice. And how is it going over on AVS Forum and your podcast, youtube.com/AVS Forum?
Yeah, there you go. It's going great. We're getting a lot of good guests. This coming Tuesday, I wanted to point out the show is going to be very interesting. It's several people from a company called 6P Color. And you might wonder, what the heck does that mean?
I do wonder.
And I shall tell you. You know how in video, almost virtually all video, basically to get a full color image, you combine red, green, and blue components to get a full image. But that never, no matter what colors of red, green, and blue you choose, that never gives you the full range of what humans can perceive, of the range of colors that humans can perceive.
They call it the gamut, right? The color.
The gamut, correct. The color gamut, that is correct. And it's a little difficult to visualize, but you might have seen this kind of elongated horseshoe shape.
Yes.
With all the colors in it, from blue through green, yellow, red, magenta. And that's the full range of colors that humans can see. But then within that strange horseshoe shape, there's a triangle. And the triangle has its vertices at red, green, and blue. And the colors that fall within that triangle are the colors that can be reproduced on the television.
Okay.
On the video display. So what this company has decided to do is to look into the possibility of using more than 3 primaries.
You ain't no triangle. You're a
trapezoid.
Trapezoid. Yeah, baby.
That's right.
Baby, I saw that song. Baby, you're a trapezoid. Yeah, I love that song.
Anyway, yes. So this company is looking at the possibility of representing color not as red, green, and blue, but as more than those 3 colors. And in fact, you have in color theory, you have 3 primaries, which are called red, green, and blue. You also have 3 what are called secondaries, which are yellow, cyan, and magenta. Mm-hmm. And if you were to be able to represent all of the colors that the display could express or display, using those 6 primaries, you could actually form a hexagon and encompass much more of the color range that we can see. And so that's what they're working on. They are working on a system that actually doesn't even use the 6 primaries. It just expresses color as the coordinates within that horseshoe.
So is this a hardware thing, a software thing, a firmware thing? Where's this working?
It's all of the above. It's taking the image that's captured by a camera, and it's important to note that modern cameras and even film can capture much greater range of colors than what is in that triangle of red, green, and blue. But then when it's color corrected up till now, you have to bring those colors into that triangle or they won't even be seen. So what they're doing is they're taking what's coming off the camera in what's called RAW format. You've probably heard camera RAW.
Mm-hmm.
So that's just all the colors that the camera can capture. And most cameras today can capture almost all of everything we can see. And so they take that and they represent it mathematically in a way that you can then apply or represent it with more than 3 primaries. And that's where 6P comes in. Instead of calling 3 primaries and 3 secondaries, they're calling it 6 primaries. So you can represent the colors that are coming off the camera with a greater number of primaries and therefore get a more accurate representation of what the camera captured and, in fact, what you can see in the real world.
So this means redesigning the pixel, because pixel displays right now are RGB, right?
Are all RGB. That is correct.
Wow.
And so now the good news is you can take this greater color gamut and then squeeze it down into RGB for current displays.
Mm-hmm.
But they are also working on developing displays that have more than 3 primaries. They've got direct view LEDs. So these micro LED video walls, they've developed some prototypes that have an extra cyan in them. So they are 4 primary displays, red, green, blue, and cyan, which is kind of between blue and green.
Right.
And so you have then a 4-sided figure that's capturing 150% or displaying 150% or so of what a red, green, and blue display can capture or can display.
What's the excitement around this? I mean, is this still very is there industry interest in it?
Oh, yeah. No, there's definite industry interest. The problem, the inertia. The problem is inertia, right?
Yeah.
All the display companies have red, green, blue displays, and telling them that, well, now we want to make a display that has a cyan subpixel and a yellow subpixel and a magenta subpixel. They will kind of go, really? We're going to have to redesign our displays?
Does anybody make panels with these extra
No.
colors? No.
Not yet.
It's just a thought. In other words, it's just an idea.
This is, well, it's
a good idea.
It's a good idea. But the point is that even if you don't have a display that can do it, you've captured the data and archived it with this extra color, so that in the future, someday, when we
remastered
do
in
have
6P color,
right?
Exactly. They're going to be able to re-release all the all the stuff that has been recorded in film. Anyway, you can rescan it. If it's been captured in digitally RGB, there's probably not a way. I'll have to ask them this on Tuesday.
There any cameras that can capture this?
Oh, yeah. Most of them can.
Most can.
Yeah.
So it's
the Arri Alexa, the Sonys, the Canons.
And are they shooting in 6P or?
Yeah. Well, they're shooting in what's called their RAW format.
Oh, RAW will have it, of course. Yeah,
RAW will have it in it.
Yeah.
It's just once it's translated, so to speak, that's whenever that gets lost.
They strip out stuff. Get it.
They strip out a bunch of stuff, or they scale colors that are outside the triangle back into the triangle.
Where does Mr. Avatar, James Cameron, stand on this?
That's a good question.
He's the one
that's
who's
a very good
pushing, high frame rate and higher resolutions and all of that.
Yep. I don't know. That's a very good question. I'm going to ask these guys on Tuesday. In fact, you have given me a great
Make a
question
note
to
of that.
ask. I shall make a note of that. Where does Jim Cameron stand on this? Or Ang Lee is another director.
Ang Lee, he shot his last movie in 60 frames per second.
120.
120.
Wow.
120 frames
and it was
per second.
kind of terrible. By the way, it was a little too vivid. It was like watching people.
I didn't think so. I thought it was great. And I've heard a lot of people express your opinion that no, it was hyper real. It was too real.
Yeah.
And that may be a problem with this new 6P color system. People might say, "Oh no, that's too real." A high frame rate. They say the same thing. I want it to look like a movie has looked for the last 100 years.
Of course, the problem with Ang Lee's film Billy Lynn's Long Halftime Walk was you couldn't see it in that format except in a handful of theaters in the U.S.
That's
certainly
correct.
not at home.
That's correct.
Scott Wilkinson, AVS Forum, youtube.com/AVS Forum. Thanks for joining us.
You bet. Actually, at home, you can see Billy Lynn in 60.
Yeah, I think I've seen the 60
frames per second.
Oh, I thought you said
That's how I
6D.
saw it because I bought the I didn't see it in the theaters. I bought the UHD disc.
Right, and that's at 60.
And that was as close as I can get. And that's part of the problem is a lot of people who saw it didn't see the real deal, right?
A lot of people didn't. I actually went. There was a theater in L.A. that was showing it at 120.
Right. I think there were, was it like 2 theaters in the country?
3, I think. Three theaters in the country that were showing it at 120.
But
there were a lot of theaters. Dolby Cinema was showing it at 60.
Yeah.
So that's still quite a bit faster, a higher frame rate than 24, which is what we're used to.
Highlights, though, the problem of proposing a new format.
Yeah.
No movie theater in the country can display it yet.
Right.
No TVs that you can buy can display it. Did they show you?
120.
No, I'm talking about the 6P. Did they show you 6P?
They have some prototypes of 4P displays.
With the cyan, right?
Red, green, blue, and cyan, right. I don't know if they have any prototypes of true 6P.
Yeah.
But again, it's making sure that what you capture is the full range of colors that humans can see and storing it that way.
So they're almost just encouraging, hey, make sure you've got these for in an eventual future.
Is this a company that's trying to monetize this, or is this an industry group?
No, it's a company. The initial research was done in collaboration with Baylor University in, I think, Waco, Texas. I think that's where Baylor is. But this is a company that's trying to make this an industry standard and encourage the development of expanding the color gamut by using additional primaries. And these are very smart people. I know these people, and they're very smart.
Good.
So,
well, I don't want to poo-poo their efforts, but it's a little quixotic.
Well, I like looking at the future.
Yeah, no, I think it's, if people didn't propose stuff like this, nothing would ever happen. Yeah,
right. Exactly.
It's just always. I think it's always unlikely, but doesn't mean you shouldn't try.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
And if I'm a filmmaker, especially since this is just going to double my storage.
No, it's not going to increase your storage at all.
Well, not of the raw, but of the final.
No, I believe not, because they have part of their system, which I didn't get to talk about here, is called data rate reduction. And they're actually able to compress it.
Oh, kind of like what Apple
level
does with its what is it? HEIC?
HEVC.
Yeah, HEVC and yeah.
Yeah, and HEIS, I think.
Yeah, that's
of theirs. Yeah, so they're able to compress it, so you're not using more bandwidth or storage.
Good. Oh, that's good.
So it fits within the existing production and post-production infrastructure.
I could see a TV company saying, "What if we did a video file TV and we sold it that way?" There are people absolutely who would say, "Oh,
who would buy
it's
it?
Got the full color gamut. Oh, I'll take 2."
Yep.
Yes, and they'll pay top dollar for it.
Yeah,
too.
well, they'd have to because you'd have to build a whole new factory.
That's right. Now, one thing I didn't mention, and we'll talk about in the podcast on Tuesday. Sharp has done this already.
Oh.
Remember years ago they did something called the Quatron?
And how did that
they
go?
It didn't go very well because that had an extra yellow subpixel.
I remember that. Yeah.
But the problem was that the signal it was getting
Didn't have
only
it.
had RGB, and so it was actually
They had to make up the yellow.
pushing. It was pushing.
Can you stick around to the
yellow.
top?
Sure.
Thank you, Scott.
I used to have a producer named Eileen, and every time I sang this to her, she punched me
very
in the
annoying.
nose.
Yeah.
She was very annoyed. Just something I learned: if somebody has a name that's in a song, probably Roxanne, you don't want to sing it. Roxanne every time she walks. That's terrible. 8888 Ask Leo. That's the phone number. 888-827-5536. Toll free from anywhere in the U.S. or Canada. You are listening to the Tech Guys.
What's that song? There goes my Leo. Watch him as he goes.
There is no song with Leo in it or Micah. So we're safe.
Yeah. Whew.
We're safe. Although chat room probably come up with something.
Yeah, they'll be like, oh, there's this Cambodian song that has Micah in it.
What about that? Huh? Back to the phones we go. 8888 Ask Leo. Website techguylabs.com. That's the $250,000 website. So please use it. We spent all that money on it. Please use it. That's where you'll have links to the stuff we talk about. You'll have audio and video from the show. You'll have a transcript. We're trying to make it useful for you if you're listening and say, well, what did they say? What were they talking about? Next, Mark in Los Angeles. Hello, Mark.
Hello, Leo. Long-time listener. This is my first time calling.
We love our first-time callers. Welcome. Welcome.
I hope you can help me avoid getting in trouble with my wife.
Uh-oh.
This concerns our Wi-Fi connection.
I'm sorry, I shouldn't laugh. I've been through this. Okay.
I have an ASUS gaming
very nice. Those are good routers. Yeah.
router. It's the AX5400.
Okay. Very nice router. Yeah. What's the problem? Is your wife not getting good connectivity?
Our bedroom is about 20 feet away, and she was having a lot of dropping issues. So I got an extender. It was
That's okay. We can stop you right there.
Yeah. Depending on what you're rocking, if it's an extender or a repeater.
That it was dropping, especially when she was on Zoom. So then I got her a Netflix thing she could plug into her computer, the NETGEAR Nighthawk AC 1900. But she's still complaining that
So here's the problem. By the way, you got a great router. The Nighthawk 6 does Wi-Fi 6. It's very fast. The AX5400 is an industry standard for how many bands it has and how fast it is. It's very good. And it even says, I'm looking at the spec, 2,500 square foot coverage. So you thought, reasonably, 20 feet down the hall, this should be fine. But Wi-Fi is... I always say that radio frequencies are a black art. It's voodoo. Mm-hmm. And it does weird things. For instance, and I think you can fix this without the extender. The extender is not helping you.
Exactly. Yeah. The extender, so because of the way that Wi-Fi works, you can actually end up messing up your connection by putting too many Wi-Fi points in your home because they start to compete with one another. They start to cancel each other out, and it can lead to a whole host of issues.
Plus, the extenders only are half speed because they spend half the time talking to you, half the time talking to the router. So they're going to immediately cut your speed in half. Zoom is dropping frames because you're not giving it enough bandwidth, probably. There may be other things, though, going on. There may be competition in the house, as you said, if you have extenders all over the place. You may be watching Netflix in the living room, and she's trying to Zoom in the bedroom. That's a problem. This is why often we recommend mesh. But before you do mesh, the Eero or the Orbi, NETGEAR makes an Orbi, which is a mesh router. There are many, many mesh routers. Google just released their updated Wi-Fi 6E mesh router. Before you do that, though, try repositioning the Nighthawk.
I was going to say just last week, I was having all these internet issues in my home. I've got Eero, I've got Mesh, and normally it's not a problem. And I went upstairs to where my Eero is, and lo and behold, I had put something metal by accident while I was doing other things in front of my Eero router. So
Metal.
The
That's
signal was not getting to where I needed it
kiss of death.
to. Exactly.
So are humans, by the way.
Yes, us water bags.
Big bags of water are not good for Wi-Fi or other living things.
I've got my router in the living room right next to the sofa.
Raise it up. Raise it up. So the first thing to do is get it above the heads of the humans. That may be all you need to do. Do you know if the walls in your house or the doors have metal in them?
Not likely.
Yeah, it's not typical. The older...
The cheap wooden doors.
Yeah, good. Cheap wooden's good. Sometimes I kind of liken this to having a lamp in the living room and trying to read a book in the bedroom. Wi-Fi is kind of propagates like lamplight. And if something's in the way, it'll block it. If there's a door closed, it might block it. It's better than light going through a door, but it doesn't. It's really designed to be line of sight. So repositioning your router, making it higher up often helps a lot. Just turning it sometimes helps. You got to play with it. You might want to do a Wi-Fi assay in your house. If you have an Android phone, you can put there are a variety of Wi-Fi tools you can put on there that will map your Wi-Fi in your house and tell you where there's weak spots. And that's a handy thing to use as you're repositioning your router.
Okay, so do you have a good app for that one?
I use a variety of them. My favorite, I think, is Wi-Fi Analyzer. That's free on the Google Play Store. There's also one called Wi-Fi Heat Map. That's really handy because it then will give you. You can actually do a layout of your house, and you can see where there's problems. And because you can't do it with an iPhone because Apple will not let the app have access to the signal strength, but Android does. So
I have an Android. That's fine.
Yeah, it's one good. Or a Windows laptop would do it as well. So there's some good choices. There's a one called NetSpot for Android. In fact, NetSpot has an article, How to Create and Read an Android Wi-Fi Heat Map. Remember that your phone has different characteristics than your wife's laptop, but it'll give you some idea of the strengths. There may also be a neighbor. You live in a standalone building or an apartment?
Apartment.
Yeah. So I bet you on the other side of your bedroom wall, your neighbor has Wi-Fi. Mm-hmm. And that may be interfering in your bedroom where it doesn't in the other parts of the house. So the Wi-Fi analyzer will give you some idea of what other channels there are. You have technically 11 Wi-Fi channels for every frequency, but you will find that really there's 3 basic channels with side channels. So knowing which channel your neighbor's using and which frequencies your neighbor's using might help. For instance, your NETGEAR supports the 5G band. Get your wife on the 5G. It doesn't go as far, but you're only 20 feet away. But it is less interference prone. It actually doesn't go through walls as well. So if it's your neighbor causing the problem, her Wi-Fi going through your bedroom wall, 5G might fix that, unless she's on 5G. But even if she is, the wall will stop it. Yeah. So there's all sorts of ways to play. I'm sorry, did I say NETGEAR? You have an ASUS. I'm sorry. Same thing though. It'll do the 5G. So she's already on the 5G.
Yes.
Yeah. Then try other ones. That's why it's voodoo. It's trial and error, and it's not necessarily logical.
Okay.
Just like you, Micah, when you realized, I put some metal in there.
Yeah. I mean, there's just so many things. If you use one of those like lap stands for your laptop, if that has metal in it, that could be blocking it.
Oh yeah, we have metal lap stands, don't we? Oh,
they can sometimes block the Wi-Fi router or Wi-Fi connection inside of the laptop. It's hard to tell.
Yeah. You have a brand new, excellent router designed for a large area, so I would not necessarily go out and get a new one. I would try playing with it. Leo and Micah, your tech guys. More to come. Stay here. Now, ladies and gentlemen, how to create a Wi-Fi heat map with Scott Wilkinson. No, I won't do that. No. I won't do that.
Not my area of expertise. Although it's very interesting,
isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I have such a little counter here. I apologize.
Oh, that's all right. I can see it.
Okay, I'll try to.
I actually have. All I'm using is the Xfinity box with the Wi-Fi in it, and it extends through my house just fine.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's not. So you might say, "Oh, I need this or that doohickey," but that's not necessarily the answer. Yeah.
By the way, you were referring to 5G. Did you mean?
5 gigahertz.
5 gigahertz.
Yeah.
Not 5G.
Well, this is what's confusing.
I know.
It's 5G H as Z, but what on the routers they call it 5G. So 5G. It's very confusing.
Very confusing.
Hey, I'm going to get a cup of Joe. Okay.
Go get a cup of Joe.
Okay.
Man. I'll be glad to hold down the fort.
Please
for you.
do. Thank you, sir.
I shall. So, hey, everybody. Nice to see you. MT Pockets is asking me, how many colors are there that can't be seen naturally? And is it possible to see these colors with a computer? The answer is, second part of the question, yes, it's possible to see these colors with a computer. How many colors are there that can't be seen naturally? Trillions. Color or light is part of the electromagnetic spectrum, which extends all the way from radio waves up to gamma rays. And light, visible light, is a tiny, tiny fraction, a little sliver out of that vast spectrum. And so visible light, I've always found this fascinating. Human perception, for sound, we can hear 10 octaves of sound. We can perceive 10 octaves of sound. Of course, there are sounds above what we can hear, which dogs can hear. It's called ultrasound. And there are sounds below what we can hear, called infrasonics. Similarly, we can only see a small range of visible light, but instead of 10 octaves, as we can with sound, we can only visually perceive 1 octave of light. So light, color, is a much more complicated thing in the brain, and so we can perceive much less of it. And interestingly, just like sounds above what we can hear are called ultrasonics, light above the frequency we can perceive directly is called ultraviolet. The highest, the shortest wavelength we can see is ultraviolet, or is violet. Longest wavelength we can see is deep red. And below deep red is infrared. So just like infrasonics are below what we can hear, infrared is below what we can see. And just like ultrasonic is above what we can hear, ultraviolet is above what we can see. Now, as I mentioned in a post there to MT Pockets, the James Webb Telescope, this new space telescope that's up there, it records images. It captures light in the infrared region. So we can't see it directly. We don't perceive it. So what they do, speaking to the second part of his question, is because they show these great images on TV and on websites, and look at this great new James Webb image, which are fabulous. They're beautiful, but they have to be processed and bring that infrared energy into the visible range just so you can see it. So it's not precisely what James Webb has recorded, but it's processed so that we can see it and marvel at the beauty of the universe. It's really quite amazing. Hey, Dr. Mom, Grandma, good to see you. I just got my COVID booster 2 days ago, and it kind of laid me up for a day, but I'm much better now. And Loquacious, always good to see you. Howdy do. Hope you're doing well. Yes, Dr. Mom, Grandma, you can quote unquote see infrared and ultraviolet with special sensors. But again, not directly. You cannot perceive them directly with the eye. Some other animals can. I forget which ones now. Maybe insects, maybe bees can see into the ultraviolet. And in fact, this is a very interesting thought experiment about what range of electromagnetic frequencies might aliens be sensitive to. Maybe they can see into the ultraviolet or down into the infrared. And Dr. Mom, you are exactly correct. You can get infrared goggles or scopes, right? Heat scopes that you put on, and you can see that greenish color. It's not actually green, but the scope or the sensor is translating the information. And by the way, infrared is another name for heat. But you can then see heat signatures. You can see where things are hotter or colder, but the scope moves them into the actual green range so that we can actually perceive them. Dr. Mom, Grandma, yes, Mazel Tov, indeed. I did get my flu shot a couple weeks ago, actually. So I got that ahead of time. Anyway, so yeah, deer maybe can see in different ranges. Different animals can see different ranges, but it's important to note that we as humans, and in fact all animals really, can only see a small portion of the entire electromagnetic spectrum. And it's important to realize or understand that light, what we see, is simply electromagnetic radiation. And people hear the word radiation and go, oh, ooh, scary. No, it's not scary. I mean, sure, atomic or nuclear radiation, yeah, that's scary. But light is just radiation. Heat is radiation. X-rays are radiation. And they're all on this electromagnetic spectrum, which spans a vast, vast range, of which we can perceive by sight only a tiny, tiny, tiny part. Oh, Mike Heiss, hey, how you doing? Oh, and you're sending me a Simpty t-shirt. Thanks, man. Virtually my whole wardrobe, by the way, is manufacturer and industry organizational t-shirts, which I love. So, Mike, thanks so much for grabbing one of those for me at Simpty. Sorry I couldn't make it. Although I must admit, I'm still nervous about COVID, even with all the boosters and everything that I've gotten. One of my guests at next Tuesday's podcast just came back from, I think it was Simpty. I think it was the show that you were at. And he got COVID, even though he's fully boosted. So I'm still nervous about it. I got to tell you, of course, with boosters and stuff, if you get it, it's not as bad. It's not as severe. So there's that. Dr. Mom, Grandma, yes, be nervous. Be very nervous. Let's see. Stimpson says, why is a master monitor of an IPS type and not a VA type LCD panel used in the pro world? Is this because IPS has more color accurate? No. Both can be extremely color accurate. Probably the answer is with an IPS panel, you maintain color accuracy across a wider range. And so if this is what's called a client monitor, and it probably is, where the client, the director of the movie or the producer comes in and wants to see your work, they don't have to be directly dead on center. They can be slightly off center and still see an accurate image. Whereas VA panels, stands for vertical alignment, that angle is much narrower. So that's probably why. But I think most post-production and coloring houses don't use LCD at all. They use OLED. Now the new Sony mastering monitor is LCD. I don't know whether it's IPS or VA, but it's only 30 inches, and it's really meant only for the colorist to sit directly in front of. Dr. Mom, Grandma, how does Pantone decide what the color of the year is? Boy, I don't know. That's a good question. In my opinion, some years it's pretty icky. Well, color is, well, it is what it is. Uh-oh.
Hello?
Yes, hello, Micah.
Hi. Welcome back to the Tech Guy Radio Show. Leo Laporte is on. He's here. He's here with us. Okay, yes, he's here. And it is time to head back to the phones and talk about tech. That's what we do here. 8888 Ask Leo. That's the number you call if you have your questions.
Yes.
And
little bobblehead.
he's
it broke.
there. Now we've got your microphone on.
Oh, that's too bad. I have a bobblehead that when you hit it, it answers questions. Maybe we'll have to do it this time.
Yeah, I guess so. Let's see who's next up on the line. It looks like Scott from Hesperia, California,
Hey, Scott.
joining us. Hello, Scott.
Hello, Micah. Hi, Leo. Thanks for taking my calls. Good to talk to you again.
Plug in my head.
Leo's going to get his headphones plugged in. It is good to talk to you, too. What can we help you with?
Well, if Leo is there, several, years ago maybe, on one of the shows on Twit, you interviewed the guys who did the Helm email server.
Okay.
And I got an email from them earlier this week. They're going out of business.
Oh, no. Helm is going out of business, the email server that used to be a sponsor on the network.
Oh, we used to do their ads. They're going out of business.
Yes.
Now, does that affect because you basically have a piece of hardware in your house that is their server. Did they say there's any way to keep continuity of service?
Well, if I understand what they said in the email, they're trying to develop write some sort of Linux app where you could run your own server.
Yeah. So here's the you have a server, which is that nice triangular piece of hardware you bought. Oh, I'm feeling really bad about this right now because I have one too. The problem is really not Helm's exact fault. I'm sorry that they weren't able to make a go of it, but
then they said it was a supply chain. They
couldn't make them. Yeah.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
COVID hit about the same time.
Yeah.
They switched their manufacturing to China just before COVID or around then.
I know these guys, and they're very conscientious, and they're going to try to solve. I'll tell you why it's a problem for them. Email is broken. Is the reason. So in order for you to run an email, you could, in theory, on any Linux box, any computer, put email server software, postfix or something on there, and run your own email server. But the problem is because spam got so bad, your email would bounce to everybody. Gmail would reject you. Outlook.com would reject you. They'd say, well, look, you're sending this from a residential IP address. We don't know it's not spam, so we're just going to reject it out of hand. It's gotten to the point, and this is kind of the way of the world, where these big companies will only accept email from other big companies. Mm-hmm. So what Helm did, which was quite clever, they gave you the hardware. You are running an email server, but in order for your email to work, they would route it through their servers at Helm, because they went out and they would buy IP addresses, a block of IP addresses, and then precondition them. Go to all the different email companies and make sure that email would go through. They would, they would polish them up, so to speak. They weren't in a residential block. A lot of residential blocks are just blocked out, right? They weren't in a block that has already been black holed, that has been determined by their variety of email services out there that email providers use to say, no, this is an address that spam came from. And the problem is spammers they're like cockroaches. They're everywhere. So many email addresses have been tainted by this. So Helm went out, they got these addresses. So in order for this to work, you had to use your own email server, but then it would have to go through Helm and their specially crafted IP addresses for Gmail to accept it. So if Helm turns off his service, you'll still have an email server. It might even still try to send email, but unfortunately, Gmail's going to go, I don't know who you are, so I'm not taking it.
Yeah.
So what somebody's got to do, and it wouldn't be a hard thing to do. Somebody's got to do is create a service to support these Helm users. And I would hope the Helm guys are very technical, very nice. I really liked them. I'm very sad to hear that they're not going to make it.
Yeah, they're very responsive with technical support problems. I'll send them something 11 o'clock at night and have an answer, when I wake up.
Yeah, they really cared. They were trying to respond to this idea. In the old days, many moons ago, anybody could have an email server in their house. But there became all sorts of problems. In fact, your ISP, your internet service provider, may prevent you from sending outbound mail from your house. In fact, almost certainly does, because they don't want spammers to camp on their systems. So it's all because of spam. It's this is why we can't have nice things, and it's a shame. The only hope you could hold out is that Helm will come up with a kind of open solution.
And it sounds like they're trying to do that, but I don't know that. I like tech stuff, but my life is pretty full. I don't know that.
Yeah,
I
you don't
want
need to do this.
My own email service.
You don't need to do this.
So
I'm so sorry.
Really
I apologize because you probably bought it because I told you to. I feel bad.
No, I heard about them because
okay.
I made my own choice, and I asked them before I bought it. Well, what if you go out of business?
Yeah.
How do I get my stuff off? And they said, "Oh, well, we'll help. We'll do it."
You have your email. You haven't lost anything. You just don't have the ability to send email.
Yeah. So, but what I really wanted it for and use it for is you've always said, well, get your own domain name, and then when you sign up for a service like Verizon, you can sign up at Verizon at mydomain.com or whatever. And so I've kind of done that, and I have my own domain that I pay.
If you have your own domain, you're golden, because
the question,
you just, instead of having it go to the Helm server, you go with another service provider.
Well, and that's what I want to ask. I've got all of these email addresses now, which if I had to, I can combine down to 4. But I have to have those 4. And
here's what I would do, and this is what I do. I actually don't use Helm for my main email. I ran it for a while and liked it, but I use fastmail.com. So you go to Fastmail. If you have a Fastmail account, it's a paid account. It's not free. You can set it up to. You can set it up to work with your domain. I have about 20 domains there. They don't limit the domains, and they don't limit the number of email addresses at that domain.
I love that. The aliases, you can set up so many,
So I have, let's say I have leo.email as an email address. I can go in there, and I say, I want all mail at leo.email to go into my Fastmail inbox. And you can filter on it, because it will still say it was to Verizon at leo.email. So you can still filter it. It doesn't matter what names you've used. They'll all work. You don't have to set them up one by one. Just the fact that the domain is hosted on Fastmail means it will all go into your Fastmail inbox.
Okay. I guess I don't understand alias, but I think part of my problem with that will be 2 of the email addresses. One belongs to my wife, one belongs to my son, and I don't want to see their emails.
No, of course not. So you can set up a rule to automatically, the minute it comes to those addresses, put it in their inbox somewhere else.
Oh. And when they send email, it's not going to come from...
No, that's up to their email client. All email clients, including Gmail, let you set up a personality or an alias that says, no, it's not coming from... Scott, that's it. Scott, I'm looking for your name. It's not coming from Scott at scottsemail.com. It's coming from Scott's wife at verizon.net or whatever.
Okay.
So it's completely independent of that. That's the email client that does that.
And Fastmail also has good support. So if you're having trouble with this whole process, they'll help you.
I have
really good support.
Literally probably a dozen email domains set up at Fastmail. And they all end up in my Fastmail inbox, so I don't have to worry about what the email address is. And as you said, you probably heard me say that when I signed up for a Verizon account, it was Verizon at leo.email.
Right. Okay, all right.
I'm sorry that this happened. It's a beautiful little pyramid-shaped server. You can probably, what they should do is let you get into it so you can at least make it a server of some other kind, web server or a file server.
Interesting.
They support Nextcloud, so you probably just use Nextcloud on it, and then now you have your home file server and just do email at Fastmail. I ended up doing that because, like you, ain't nobody got time to run an email server.
Yeah. Yeah, I was talking to my wife about that last night, and
It's a nice idea, Scott.
Time to run a server.
I ain't got time for that.
Email server.
Ain't nobody got. Trust me, people who run email servers, they're regretting it.
Yeah.
It's the worst. It's the worst. That's why Helm was kind of a neat idea, but ultimately, Fastmail, and there are other companies like this. This is the one I use. Fastmail is so good. They're so professional. They do everything right. Things that are tricky, like DKIM and SPF. These are the email authentication protocols. They're tricky. They're hard to do. They do them. So your email will go through from Fastmail, and that's the nice thing,
Okay. And they have good customer support.
Excellent.
So,
they're Australian, so if you don't mind. Hey, mate, what's going on? No, they're
Honestly,
great.
that adds to it.
I'm a big fan, actually, and I should get them to advertise because I give them free plugs all the time.
You do.
Yeah, I really like them.
First place I went.
Good. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure there are others. If you want encrypted, people like Proton Mail and stuff like that. Email is not inherently encrypted. It's like sending a postcard. It's just the nature of email. And, don't send private stuff through email.
Even that Fastmail, it would have been $220 a month for those 4 addresses.
Oh.
I mean, a year, not a month.
Yeah.
And, that's not the end of the world, but.
You register one address, just one address, and then you can have all your domains hosted there.
Okay.
It's much easier. I only have one address at Fastmail, one account. That's all you need. It'll do it all.
And then you use aliases for.
No, you'll see. And once you sign up for the, I think they have a free trial. Sign up for the free trial, and then under domains, you can attach your domains to Fastmail, and all your MX records to Fastmail. All the mail goes through them, and then you can just do whatever you want. Yeah, you don't need more than one account. One account does it all.
Oh, okay. Cool. All right. Well, give that a try.
Well, I feel a little better. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Tell your wife Leo's sorry. Scott, it's a pleasure. Thank you. 8888 Ask Leo. That's the phone number. 888-827-5536. Leo and Micah, we've switched seats.
Just for now.
How do you like it? No. And I'm going to get the Leo bobblehead working, and then we won't have to do anything at all. We just let it answer all the question. More calls right after this. Used to be you could tap its head.
What did it say?
And it would say stuff. Mr. Dandy made this.
Mr. Dandy.
Electronics by Jorge Sanchez at 628 Design. Painting by Robert Martin Jr. Design and sculpture by James Hakola. And and it's nice because the head just comes right off. Mike has been sitting next to this all this time. I'm amazed that you never played with it. By the way, what does it say at the bottom there? Chief Twit. I should send this to Elon. Maybe he could use it. All right, I'm going to go in the other seat. You could always sit here if you want. Used to be you just tap his head, but I think the batteries have died.
Oh, it's
but in the memory, there was, "Hi, this is Leo Laporte," and things like that.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah, it was so cute. And I forgot it says Chief Twit on it. I should, I might maybe take a picture of that and make it my Twitter avatar. I don't do anything on Twitter now. I'm the chief tutor now on Mastodon.
That's funny, Chief Tutor.
Yeah. But I decided I don't want to promote Mastodon too much because I don't really want everybody on Twitter to move to Mastodon. That will just make Mastodon more
bad,
like Twitter. And
yeah.
Mastodon's cool.
How much time do we have?
You have no
time.
That's meaningless. You have a couple minutes.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Then I can make mine.
Go ahead. Yeah.
Super quick, because it's already warmed up.
Maybe if I do this in portrait mode. Oh, stop it. See, I feel like I could play the organ like that. It's all dun, dun, dun. Leo Laporte, Micah Sargent, your tech guys, 8888 Ask Leo. We found, Scooter X, our chat mod, found a good document on what to do if you have a Helm server. And we're going to put that into the show notes. Alternatives, things you can do to make it better. Things you can do to make it better. 8888 Ask Leo, back to the phones we go. By the way, I should mention, you can dial 8888 Ask Leo, but you can also, if you know, for completeness sake, you can also dial 8888 Ask Leo and Micah. That actually, we tried it. It works. John on the line from Thousand Oaks, California. Hi, John.
Hey, guys. How you doing? Leo, it's such a privilege. Thank you for taking my call.
Thank you for calling. I appreciate it.
Yeah, I got a strange one for you. I've been listening to you forever, and you're always great, but this is one I've been trying to tackle on my own.
Well, we love puzzles. That's good.
Year.
Give us a puzzle. So we have a caller who moved to Portugal, so I have some expertise.
No, I'm going to move to Portugal.
Good.
And what I'm doing is I've been going through all the travel sites.
Yes, I'm saying we have another caller. In fact, I think his name is John. You might like him. He lives in Portugal now, called me a couple of years ago saying, I'm just like you. I'm moving to Portugal. So what can we do to help?
Well, all the travel sites, Expedia, Priceline, Hotwire, you go to all of them, and all of them have different prices for different things.
Don't use those anymore. I should have said something about this. I was trying to book a flight for my daughter to, of all places, Lisbon.
Okay.
Went to probably one of those, Expedia, Travelocity, Kayak, whatever, and found a price, and I clicked the link, and without me really understanding what had happened, it sent me to a different site, which was kind of a scammy ticket aggregator site. It wasn't the airline. And I bought a ticket, and then I looked at reviews online. I thought, oh my gosh, I may have been conned. I was able to get my money out of them. But I no longer trust the links on these big travel sites. So so what do we do? Yeah, well, good question. I mean, Google bought the big company, IATP, I think was the name of it, that actually has the back end of all of this stuff. And they now have a pretty good flight search tool, and they're not actually selling anything. They don't have affiliate relations as far as I know, at least so far. ITA, that's it. Thank you. Mm-hmm. And so I would so you want to, let's say, I'm looking for LAX to Lisbon. Yeah. Just Google it. The very first thing you'll see is flights from Los Angeles to Lisbon. Actually, Johnny Jett is here. Johnny.
Oh, good. We can ask him too.
Yeah, he's going to be joining us in a few minutes. Do you mind if I put you on a little early, Johnny?
I'm on now. Let's do it.
So am I wrong in saying those travel aggregation sites like Expedia and Travelocity are no longer the place to go?
Well, you are a little bit wrong. I would say always price it out there, but I wouldn't book there.
That's right.
The reason why you want to use Expedia or Travelocity is because they're really good at package deals. You don't want to just buy a flight directly from them.
Yeah, but then you're going through a packager instead of the airline, and that's where your trouble is.
Well, but you can save money because the airlines do discount their tickets to them. That's if you really want to save money. But if you want to avoid all headaches, you should first of all get a travel agent or an advisor, and they will help you with this.
That's not a bad idea. Yeah.
They will charge $25 to $40 depending on their deal. But if you really don't want to have any hassles, book directly. Use ITA or use Google Flights, do the search and book direct. And that way, if there is a problem, if you need a refund or change your ticket, you don't have to deal with the third party.
Yeah. So this is a way to kind of look at what's out there, see what the prices are roughly.
But set a fare alert. Always set a fare alert.
And where do you set that, Johnny?
You can do that on Google Flights. You can do that on Kayak. You can do that on Fare Compare, Hopper. There's a bunch of them that allow it. And they're free. And I always set them even before or after I book a ticket. That way you can find out if the price drops or goes up and then rebook.
Okay, Johnny, you got to go back in your box now. No, he's coming up next. Yeah, hold on. You hang on, and I will talk to you off the air. Leo Laporte, Micah Sargent, the Tech Guys. When that music comes on, we are gone, John. But you're still on with us on the podcast, so
okay.
Continue.
It's okay.
Yep.
Well, the thing was, a friend of mine told me about something called Access Development is where all these guys go or something like that. And he sent me a website called savingmoneyeveryday.info. So I went there, and they have everything. They have the cars, the hotels, the flights.
That's a packager, just like Johnny, right? Johnny, do you know that?
I never. What's it called? Saving money every day.
Yeah, savingmoneyeveryday.info. And I was going to sign up because they have a thing, a refundable 30-day thing. And my friend's been using it for a month now, and he loves it. And I'm like, I'm what do you call it, gun shy, guys?
Yeah, you should be.
I would be.
Yeah. On the other hand, so buyer beware, right?
But if your buddy says he loves it and you trust your buddy,
yeah, he does.
Then you can give it a shot. But I would say stay away from that.
A discount buyers club. So it's a membership benefits program. There are advantages sometimes to group buying, and we've seen this before, and I think that's what these guys are doing. They're doing group buys, and of course, then you have some clout. If you go to a manufacturer and say, "I'm going to buy 400 vacuum cleaners. What's the best price you can give me?" You may well get a better price than retail. But
interesting.
Yeah, that's how these guys work. It's a group purchase, and they do it for everything, not just travel.
Right. Yeah. Well, if you look at his site, I mean, he's got everything.
Yeah, you can buy tires from these guys.
Yeah, I mean, they have telemedicine. I was thinking, well, that might be good to have.
I'm a little nervous. I'm always nervous, especially if it's got a .info domain. It's a little bit, telemedicine. Wow. I'm not sure I want a discount on my doctor, but maybe.
Yeah.
Oh, well, how about the one telepet below it? I was like, well, okay, what else?
Oh, yeah, saving free legal consultation.
Oh,
free tax consultation.
Have you looked for reviews? Look at like the BB&B, Better Business Bureau.
See what people on Reddit say. Reddit's always a good place to find out what people really think.
I haven't done that yet. Like I said, I just want to get to Portugal, guys. If you can help me there. I want to get.
Well, honestly, you're going to fly TAP, right, Johnny? It's pretty much TAP.
So buy a round trip. A one-way might be more expensive, even though you might not use the return. Price it out as a round trip ticket because a lot of times it's much cheaper to buy a round trip ticket.
Yeah.
So price that out. Just change the date by a day or two. Leaving on a Tuesday or Wednesday could help. Avoid holidays.
So Johnny has newsletters too. The Points guy has newsletters. There's a lot of places. I always look at somebody who's not trying to make money off of you.
Which day are you looking, by the way?
Oh, I always know to book Tuesday or Wednesday, middle of January. If I have to, I'll push it to February.
You should have no problem finding a cheap flight.
It's not too expensive to fly Lisbon, actually.
Mid-January, that's the cheapest you can go.
Yeah, well,
cheapest time.
Is this going to be like your move flight, or is this just flying out to check it out?
Well, you can do I'm going. I have friends that live there, and everybody's told me the same thing. You go there for like 10 days and check it out.
Yeah.
I'm European anyway, so that stuff I dig it. Plus, it's 35% cheaper. The healthcare, it's this way to go, right?
Oh no, I want to do this too. I can't convince my wife, but I would move to Portugal in a heartbeat. It's beautiful
it's
country.
$634 round trip.
Nothing.
You can't beat that.
Yeah.
Can't beat that. Yeah, but you go for 10 days. And then you make up your mind. Then you go there and stay there for like 3 months.
Yeah, get an Airbnb. Exactly. That's what I would do. That's smart.
Yeah, and you go up and down and check everything. And most of the guys are doing Algarve. I was looking at the Silver Coast and all these places I want to go. But in 10 days, what do you do? So that's why you move back and do the whole 9 yards. I just I can always.
Which airport? Which airport you leaving?
Oh, we gotta run. We gotta do this guy named Johnny Jet.
Forget that guy.
Tech Guy Podcast brought to you this week and every week, frankly, by Cashfly. I mean, quite literally brought to you by our content delivery network, our CDN, Cashfly.com. We love Cashfly. I've been using them for more than a decade to make it easy for you to get the shows. So when you download a show from our website, when your podcast client downloads a show, they're all getting it from a server that's near you, thanks to Cashfly. They've got servers all over the world, 50 plus points of presence. So it does a little calculation. It says, you're nearest the Vienna server, and it downloads it. I think that's pretty cool. But Cashfly is more than just a content delivery network. Cashfly is amazing. They now have something called ultra low latency video streaming. Alex Lindsay says, yeah, I'm going to try this. He's been using, and I'm sure most of you have, WebRTC for streaming. Now, with this new Cashfly ultra-low latency video streaming, you can go live in hours, not days. It's very simple to set up. And the latency, this is almost unbelievable. You got to try it. Sub 1 second. It's that fast. WebSocket live video workflows, and it scales to millions of users thanks to Cashfly. That means you're going to be closer to your audience anywhere in the world. You're going to be delivering much better than any local CDN or any other option, frankly. You'll also take a load off your origin servers if you set up Cashfly's storage optimization system. We've been using that for some time. That means 100% cache hit ratio, because you don't have to go offline to your origin servers to get your data. You upload it instead of to your origin server, your S3 bucket or whatever, you upload it directly to Cashfly. So they always have it. They always have the latest. That means much faster performance and much lower origin server bills. Really nice. You could get a fully managed solution. That's what we don't want to be spending time managing our CDN. We want it to be transparent, and it is. We've never had a problem. It's amazing. If you do have a problem, you've got 24/7 support, response times in less than an hour, and most of the time they're already going to know what's going on and be working on it before your team even says, hey, we got a problem. I think we've never had to use this, but it's nice to know it's there. With Cashfly, you get ultra low latency video streaming. You get lightning fast gaming. If you have a game server, you're going to love it. Downloads are faster, no lag, no glitches, no outages. In fact, over the last 12 months, get this, Cashfly's had 100% availability. Not 5 nines, 6 nines, 10 nines, 1,000 nines, 100% availability. 30% faster than other major CDNs with a 98% cache hit ratio. 10 times faster than traditional methods. I'll tell you, I know that because that's what we started with. Thank you, Cashfly, for coming to our rescue. They're on 6 continents, multiple CDNs for redundancy and failover, so they intelligently balance your traffic across not just their network, but multiple providers. So you get the shortest routes, and it mitigates against performance glitches. They just do it all right. They're super smart, and they're really good. And by the way, probably more affordable than the other guys. I think they are. Cashfly, 24/7, 365-day-a-year priority support. They're always there when you need them. They've always been there for us, and we love them. You will too. Go to cashfly.com to learn more. Just as I always say, bandwidth for the tech guy provided by Cashfly at CACHEFLY.com. Thank you, Cashfly. And now back to the show. He's been everywhere, man. He is our airfare, hotel, travel guru, traveling better with tech, Johnny Jet. JohnnyJet.com is his website. Hi, John.
Hello.
Sorry about your Yankees.
Oh, don't be sorry.
Are you rooting for the Phillies now?
Definitely. I do not like the Astros.
Yeah, I'm rooting for the Phillies too. I
think the whole world is, but they're in trouble.
Hey, they're not in trouble. Not yet.
They're in trouble.
Not yet. They got
in Houston with 2. They have the best pitchers.
I know.
It's a problem. I'm not even watching the game. I can't watch it unless the Phillies are winning.
It must have been tough Thursday for anybody living in Philadelphia or Texas.
Definitely.
Because you had a football game and a World Series game between.
Well, they won football.
Yeah, the Phillies, the Eagles are hard to beat. Anyway, we're not here to talk sport ball.
No.
We're here to talk all sorts of stuff. Our friend moving to Portugal. He wanted to fly out there to check it out, and then he was going to do an Airbnb to live there for a little while. And then if he still likes it, he was going to move there, which I think is a good plan.
It's definitely a good plan.
Yeah.
Also, he said he's leaving mid-January. You really cannot find cheaper fares to go to Europe than mid-January. So that's a great time to be going.
If you're going to judge a locale in the Northern Hemisphere, go in the dead of winter just to see what it's like. And then go in the dead of summer.
Well, you don't want that is summer. You don't want to be in like Portugal or Spain in the middle of summer.
Is it really
Italy.
hot? Yeah. See, it's good to find these things out ahead of time, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You really want to go in May and September, October are my favorite times.
Yeah.
Of the
he
year
wants to live there, so he's going to have to be there year round. So
yeah, get a taste.
Yeah.
Except Northern Europe, you want to go in the dead of summer.
Sure.
Scandinavia.
Scandinavia.
Which is where my grandfather's from.
Oh, really? Where?
I have one grandfather from Denmark and another grandfather from southern Italy.
Oh, perfect combination. You get the ice cold rational blood with the hot Latin temperament. You combine that together, and it's lukewarm.
I'm a little bit more than lukewarm.
See, you could tell.
What's the news in travel?
Speaking of Europe, I was doing a News Nation the other day, and they're asking me, where are the deals for Thanksgiving? And I said, you know what? Go to Europe at Thanksgiving, because flying in the U.S. during Thanksgiving is expensive, and it's about the same price to fly to Europe. And obviously they don't celebrate Thanksgiving, and our dollar is so strong. You'll get some great deals. There won't be huge crowds. It won't be too hot. It won't be too cold. So consider that.
Can I ask you about that? Actually, you travel overseas and you're obviously using a different currency. Do you go to your bank and only have cash? Can you use your card while how does that all work these days?
So, you used to go to a currency exchange and change your money, but
you used to get American Express traveler's checks.
Exactly.
But we don't
that
do
was almost
that anymore.
Before my time.
Yeah. No, I did. I used to do that, and you get a whole sheaf of them, and you hide them in your money belt.
Yep.
Holy, that was a nightmare.
But these days,
you just go to the ATM.
You make sure, not even, just use your credit card. Make sure your credit card has no foreign exchange fees.
Are there credit cards that don't have foreign exchange fees? That's the next question. Because mine, sometimes they could be high, right?
Well, they used to. Most of them now, they don't charge a fee.
It may not be a fee, but they want to make sure the exchange rate's good too, right? Because they could use that to get you.
Well, one of the scams, by the way, is, let's say, like every time I've gone to Harrods in London, right when I give them my credit card, they're like, oh, they swipe it and they see that I'm American. They're like, would you like to pay in US dollars or would you like to pay in pounds?
Oh.
Always pay in local currency.
Pay in pounds.
And if it's Europe, they ask you the same question, euros.
Why?
Always pay in the local currency because they charge a higher rate. So they're making money. They're the middleman.
They're no fools.
So the best way to do it is just by using a credit card that, first of all, you pay off in full every month. If you can't, then don't use a credit card and then just use cash. But if you can, make sure you have one that doesn't charge a foreign exchange fee. And I rarely even go to the ATM. And if you do go to an ATM, ask your bank in advance if they have any partnerships with, whatever destination you're going to, banks, and then take out enough money for that and make sure no one's watching you. Go indoors to one. It's same as here in the US. You don't want to just go to like a drive up these days, especially in LA or anywhere, New York, with people seeing you take a lot of cash out, and don't count your money in the street and things like that.
£1.
I like to count my money in the street just to show how much I have. That's $100. That's $200. That's good.
Yeah, don't do that.
Don't do that. And my ATM number is
51.
But Micah, you said you've never been international. I really want to travel with you. I want to be the first person to take you.
You've never been out? Have you been to Mexico?
No.
Canada?
No.
No, I think we need to take him on a plane and go to either Asia or Europe.
Oh my God. I'm down, Johnny.
We should go to Japan.
Do you have a passport?
Do you have a passport?
Oh, shoot. Okay, I'm going to get a passport. I've already got the documents. I can get them filled out. I'll get a passport, and then
Let's do the show from Tokyo.
I'll guest blog.
Let's do it. Let's go for a long weekend.
What's the cheapest overseas flight right now that we could get, Johnny?
Japan is actually a great time to go right now because they don't have a lot of tourists. Our dollar is so strong.
They just reopened, right? They were closed.
They just reopened.
Yeah.
So, and although actually the prices have been good, and they're flying Zip Air. We talked about it a few weeks ago from San Jose.
Okay.
It's a low fare carrier. They do it from LA as well.
Let's just go for the weekend. We could do the show from there. Let's just go for the weekend.
Lie flat seats for cheap. Although, again, with low fare carriers, you got to make sure you know what you're getting into. They're going to charge you for everything, including food and baggage.
Do they put on the seat a sign that says you can lie to 60 degrees, but for an extra $50 you can lie flat?
Yeah, you got to put a quarter in.
Put a quarter in.
Then the seat will go back.
Magic fingers in the seat. That's good.
If you put 2 quarters in, it will shake.
What's that called? Zip? ZIP?
ZIP.
And they fly to Tokyo.
Zip Air.
Yeah, it's a Japan Airlines offshoot. So Zip Air, San Jose. They're starting to fly in December.
Are you looking up the fares?
Who, me?
First,
No.
you got to get the
I know.
passport.
I was going to say, I'm filling out my passport stuff today.
Yeah.
So get on that.
Yes.
And actually, I wrote a tip today for my newsletter about the Real ID. So if you're flying domestically, you're going to need to have your Real ID by May 3rd,
Oh, I've heard that for a
2023.
while.
Yeah.
You've been hearing it, but they're saying this year they're really going to follow through.
Oh, no,
But
I
if you
wasn't
travel
saying
with
I've
a
heard that for a
passport-
while. I have had mine for a while. I was
Oh, you have?
surprised
Okay.
at the number of people who don't have their Real ID.
Yeah,
I don't.
in California, when you go to the DMV, you get a choice. You can get a regular driver's license, but you have to have more proof of document.
Oh, you don't currently have one?
Because he has a passport.
No, I use a
'cause
passport.
you're used, Okay, you're used to
But
using
I went to get one,
See,
and I
as a-
forgot my WT form.
You have to have all these things. Yeah.
As a
Utility
non-passport
bill and-
haver, that must be why I was so encouraged
That's
to
right.
just go for the Real
I
ID.
have the Real ID. I also have a passport. And when I ordered a passport, I got a passport card, which TSA informed me can also double as a Real ID in the US. Yeah.
Definitely. And I have one as well, just in case I lose my passport and I need to drive to Canada. You can at least drive across
You
the
can drive
border.
to Canada or Mexico.
Or get on a
walk.
cruise.
You can walk.
With that.
I'm starting off today, heading to Canada.
I've walked to Canada before.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That would be
From
cool.
Buffalo.
You drive somewhere and then you walk. You don't walk the whole way.
Niagara Falls.
It's a long way to walk from here.
But I've walked across the bridge. It's fun.
Yeah.
That would be fun. Yeah.
Yeah, my daughter did that in Mexico because she had lost her passport. She had the passport card, couldn't fly into Mexico with it.
Oh, yeah. I remember you saying
But so she flew to San Diego or wherever the closest to Tijuana
and took a
walked
burro
across. Took
across.
a burro. No, she walked across the bridge. That card works there. And then she took a flight from Tijuana.
Yeah, because they had that new airport right in Tijuana, which is great, especially if you're flying.
Should Micah
to
get
Mexico.
global entry on his? He doesn't. He's
I
only
have a known traveler number thingy, the TSA pre.
Well, that's for TSA pre.
Yeah,
but
I have
you do
that.
need-
How'd you get that?
You need an interview.
I just did the interview thing.
Oh, well, it should be easy to get global entry then, right?
Yeah, but to get an appointment is not easy. You need
No,
to
I
apply
know.
well in advance.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, you can't just show up unless you're traveling internationally. Then on the way back,
you can do it.
When you come in the country, they can give you an on-the-spot interview.
Oh, hey.
Give you that steely-eyed gaze. Thank you, Johnny. JohnnyJet.com.
see you later.
Bye-bye.
So that's how I did it. I applied, and then months later, when we went to Mexico a year ago, in fact, I was coming back into the country, and they let you do that.
Oh,
right,
that's
John?
nice.
I think that's how it works.
One more time, I missed that whole thing.
So I was in Mexico. I didn't have global entry yet. When I came back into the country, even though it was like midnight, I was tired because I'd already applied, and they said, "Okay, now you have to get the appointment." There's a special line. You go in, the guys are, and then you get it. And
What does global entry
you
give
did the interview?
Yeah, on the way back into the country. In some airports, you can do that spontaneously.
Yeah, at midnight they did it?
Sure.
That's shocking because it's a 15-minute interview.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm shocked they do it that late at night, but
Well, you should check ahead.
So, but what global
It's the
entry
same
does,
guy, by the way. It's the same guy that's letting other people in. But there's a couple of them that are like, oh yeah, he can do the global and a special global entry.
He's got the tattoo.
He's got the
that
special
lets him-
number.
Yeah.
And so, no, I don't know. You have to be senior or whatever. But it was the same. But then after he's done with me, he's letting other people in too.
You sure?
I was there. Yes.
Johnny's like, I don't know. Your global entry is a fraud.
Well, wait a minute. It's a paper card. It says.
Now, did you hand over like?
How do you spell global?
Did you have to flash a Benjamin?
Is there a U in global?
Yeah, global. Leo's got the special global
I got
entry.
the special card.
So global entry is good for 5 years. It costs $100.
But American
And it will
Express
get-
will refund you.
Yes, some credit cards
Some
will,
credit
some premium
cards.
credit cards will. So you always pay with that.
What's
So when you're
special about
returning
it?
when you return to the U.S., you can go to a kiosk. Scan your eyes. You don't have to wait in these long immigration
You
lines.
still have to talk to somebody though.
Well, not really, because once you scan your eyes, then they give you a form, and then you just hand it to the person. Sometimes they'll ask you questions,
But you have to see.
Usually they don't.
The rule is somebody
So
has to look you over.
Is it like?
they'll look at you like customs.
Yeah.
Are you just expected to know the rules of like, oh, you can't bring that snail you found in Portugal?
Yes, because they'll take that. They'll take away your global entry card.
They
if
still
you
ask. They
violate
still
that.
give you the thing.
You got to make sure you don't
See,
have
I'd be so
anything
worried I'd
illegal.
accidentally break a rule.
Don't break
because
any rules.
They take it away. They'll
Caterpillar
take the card away.
jumped on my back or
Or
something.
you got $10,000 in cash. You forgot
In my
Listen,
money belt.
Yeah.
Delta Airlines gave a passenger, they served apples on the plane, and one passenger put it in her bag, forgot about it, went through customs, and they're like, hey, that's like a $5,000 fine right there.
That's so frightening.
But they gave it to me on the plane, and you should have eaten it on the plane.
You fool.
You fool.
I'm allergic to apples. Too bad.
Let's do this trip.
And don't carry.
Where do you want to go? You want to go to Asia? You want to go to Europe?
It is on my bucket list
What's
to go to
dream?
Japan. So if Japan's
you would
on the
love
list,
Japan.
My problem is my partner has tattoos. And isn't Japan, is it Japan or is it somewhere else that tattoos are weird?
No, you just can't be buried in a Jewish cemetery. That's all.
I remember reading about
tattoos.
They don't look for tattoos.
No.
Okay, so it may be a different place.
You know why? Because in Tokyo, in
some
Japan,
places
if you have
it's
tattoos, you're
gangs.
Yakuza.
Yeah, I remember reading
So they might
about
look funny at him, but I'll be honest with you. He doesn't look like Yakuza.
No, he doesn't. That's true. He very much does not.
If he is, he's
shocking.
nice Yakuza.
Yeah, he's like the ones you talk to.
It depends. No, I've never heard that before, but maybe there's some kind of tattoo that you have that is offensive, possibly. But
don't
they're not
have
ever
Screw
look at your
Japan
body.
on your
He has
cheek.
no bad.
Or
I
you
just
have
remember.
regrets on
I don't
your
remember
chest
where it
spelled
was,
wrong.
but yeah, it was like some
pretty funny.
restaurants. They would be weird about you going.
Well, they
in
might.
and-
I think that's that
No,
Yakuza thing.
so many Japanese people have tattoos.
I think nowadays it's you
Got it.
don't have to worry about it.
Got it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I have a
Japan
lot of Japanese
sincerely is one of those places I've always wanted to
I
go.
love Japan. So clean. People are so friendly. My wife's like the most stylish people. It's a great place to go.
All right. Well,
We'll work
working on it.
Work on
and-
Leo.
And then I will keep you updated. And
All
I'm
right,
dead
good.
serious. I'd love to
Get the passport.
Guest
So,
blog
we get-
on your site.
You're welcome to anytime.
Because there's not many people you can find like him, virgins,
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
Hey, that'd be a great story.
This is a band, before Paul McCartney had Wings, he had a band, not just four guys.
Wait, this is the Beatles?
Yeah, it was called the Beatles.
This is the Beatles? Is it live? Is that why I'm not recognizing it?
It was an album that came out, you probably, because you were like 1967. I mean, your grandfather wasn't even born yet. But it was a very popular album in the summer of 1967. I remember in college campuses all across the country, people would put their turntable in the window with a speaker and play the album because it was called Sgt. Pepper. Sgt. Pepper, now 65 years old. Is that right? No, 55 years old. Actually, there is a tech angle to all of this. Would you like to hear it?
Yeah, I would.
So they just released Revolver. That's also a Beatle. The Beatles were a very popular band before your time. And Revolver was one of their, I think, important albums because it was the transition of them from your four lovable mop heads singing love songs into something a little bit more interesting. They'd been to India and Harrison started playing the sitar and stuff. So it's a very interesting album. The masters were 4 tracks. But the Beatles were very innovative in the recording studio. They would have many, many more tracks. What they would do is they would record something and bounce it with another track. And so they'd reduce what was maybe 16 tracks down to 4 tracks. But those were the masters. They didn't have the previously bounced tracks. They didn't save most of that.
Really?
Peter Jackson made a wonderful documentary, which I think everybody, if you have Disney Plus, you should try and see it before it, I guess it'll be there for a while.
Who knows?
But it's very long, but it was about the Beatles making of the Let It Be. Is it Let It Be? Yeah, the Let It Be album, the one where they played on the roof and all that. And it's wonderful because you see them as they really were working and making music. In any event, those film that he used for that had been made by a documentarian, but they didn't mic the Beatles. When the film was made, it never did get made, but when it was shot, they were more interested in the music. So the instruments were well mic'd, but they didn't have the Beatles conversations. Peter Jackson created a computer technology using AI to isolate the voices and amplify them so you could actually hear the conversations where you couldn't on the film. So he came back and he's done the same with Revolver. He's taken those 4 tracks and isolate the previous older bits and pieces so you can hear how that album was put together. I think it's 6 CDs, including a remix a stereo remix, I think the original mono, and then a bunch of studio sounds. And it's really quite an impressive technical feat to do that. So, and I've been enjoying listening to it. If you've ever heard of the Beatles, you might.
Thank you.
Before Wings, though. That's all I'm saying, 8888, ask Leo. That's the phone number. I like to tease the young.
Yes, he's teasing.
They're so teasable. Joe on the line from Dalton, Georgia. Hello, Joe.
Hi there. Just looking for, I'm trying to buy some computers that have coffee and spilled in.
I have one. I have a laptop for you. Actually, we've already taken it apart. You're, of course, referring to my sad story of pouring coffee into my old M1 Mac.
Yeah, it's one of those things. My wife works with a laptop, and she spilled water on them a couple times and stuff like that. And, the time was when it was less expensive to have a desktop machine. So you spill water on the keyboard or anything.
Right. No, then it's very unlikely you're going to spill into the tower. Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And I'm wondering, are laptops now cheaper than desktops by...
that's an interesting question. No, they're not, unfortunately. The compromises you have to make to build a laptop usually mean they're going to be a little bit more expensive, in my experience. You can get a $500 laptop. You can get a $500 desktop. The desktops, I
would like to get another desktop, but I've been,
you can get them.
Laptops.
You can get them. I mean, I think desktops are probably, same exact. See, the problem is it's apples and oranges because a laptop chip, for instance, the processor in a laptop is generally not used in a desktop because the heat constraints in the laptop mean you can't use quite as powerful a chip. You can't have as much power draw because you've got to have a battery. So the constraints are off when you put it in a desktop. You can have a bigger chip, a hotter chip, a chip that uses hundreds of watts instead of, sipping 45 watts. All of that means a desktop is a very different beast. If you like desktops, get a desktop. I think the price, as I said, the range, you can spend $20,000 on a desktop. You can also spend $500 on a desktop. It doesn't have to be expensive.
Yeah.
And I think I'd have to look, but I would guess in general, desktops are less expensive than laptops for the same stuff.
I would hope so, but it's been hard to find them. It's for some reason
Well, go to Dell. Dell makes very good ones. HP makes very good ones. What are you looking for? A Windows machine?
Yeah, pretty much. And something I was thinking about though is I had a Mac Mini at one time, and I had Apple Care, and some things Apple Care covers and some things it doesn't. And I'm just curious, in your particular situation...
I did not have Apple Care. In fact, the guy shook his head. So you got Apple Care? And I said, no. He said, oh. If I had... So this is something I found out from a friend of ours, Doc Rock, who used to be a genius at the Apple store. He said, the interesting thing about Apple Care is it's a different line item, a different cost to the store than sending it to Apple and repairing it. Very often, if you've got... and I'm going to let Mike explain this because it's too complicated for me. There are levels of Apple Care, but if you have the Apple Care Plus that pays for... In this case, had I walked in with this out-of-warranty laptop, but I'd had Apple Care, I probably would have a new laptop at no cost. Now all I have is a motherboard that smells like fine Java.
I think they do their best to try to make it as valuable as possible so you buy it because then more people buy it and never use it, and that pays for Apple Care and also gets them the money that they want.
And I can tell you, on my new laptop, I spent whatever it was, $250 to get Apple Care Plus. So there's different levels. They try to sell you the highest level, right?
Yeah, because the reason they do different levels is if you pay for the highest level, then it also covers theft and loss.
And accidental damage.
And in this case, the accidental damage. Yeah, the coffee damage.
Accidental, I'm sure. Yeah.
Well, I didn't pour it on purpose.
I don't like this laptop. I want a new MacBook Air.
You can see, so we had our repair guy, Burke, take a look at it. And he said, yeah, this is why you had to spend $1,300. This is the motherboard I have in my hands. And there's a chip you could see right there on it that's melted. Like the first half of the plastic is...
wow.
That's because it's short-circuited. The problem with modern laptops, you can't take the battery out. Actually, if you spilled coffee in a tower case and you unplugged it immediately, you might be all right. the power, the short circuit's what fries stuff. So if you can pull the power and let it dry out, you're probably going to be all right.
But yeah, spilling coffee into a case, like you say, now right now what she's using, she's working for AAA, and they sent her an HP, not HP, they sent her a Lenovo ThinkCentre.
Those are nice. What'd you think?
It's a little, well, she can't use it for anything but AAA, so there's no real way to, it's locked down. You're not going to do anything else.
Yeah, it's her work computer. But does it feel all right to her? Because you can buy a ThinkCentre. That's another. Lenovo, Dell, and HP are the kind of no-brainers. There are a lot of smaller guys that make gaming PCs or make custom PCs. They're going to be a little bit more expensive, but you can specify, I got, my last desktop I got from Dell because they buy the parts in great quantity, so they're more likely to have the parts that are hard to get otherwise. And I've been very happy with it.
Yeah.
And I didn't get the extended warranty on the Dell. I'm getting it on my laptop and my phone from now on. Leo Laporte, Micah Sargent, your tech guys. More to come next. Oh, we're going to get Micah in the helmet. So I'm going to run. I can't keep talking because we've got work to do. I got to get you in the big studio and walking the plank. Let's see. I'm going to. Okay, some routing is coming. I'm going to go with you.
Is it possible to bring this closer to my eyes so I don't see out of here?
No. In fact, they have little rubbers that you can put on it for that.
Oh, these are a lot heavier.
Are they?
Yeah.
They got cameras in them.
Interesting.
All right, now, you're in a room?
Not yet. Okay, let me step. Now I am.
Yeah.
Whoa, I'm in the elevator.
Oh, you're in the elevator?
Yeah.
Okay.
And there's the what is it, Easter Island head?
Yeah. Okay, you see, and the butterflies floating around. On your right
is a bell.
Yeah. No, don't.
Oh, don't touch the bell?
That means you'll get in Santa's sleigh. You don't want to do that.
Okay. I should have known.
Right, there's there's buttons.
Yeah, Plank, Hero Academy, Skybrush, and Ground. All right. And then there's a nice car that says Toasty.
I'll be back. Are we Chromecasting?
Okay, let me.
So here's how you get the Chromecast.
Menu.
Yeah, on this one.
Okay, Oculus.
Yeah, there you go. And there's a little Chromecast. Wait, I don't know if it's the same.
Yeah, it looks exactly the same. So I should be good to go here. All right, settings, and because I can't see it on here.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Okay, now I can hear you. How do I do it on here? Because I am not seeing it.
What are you trying to do?
Still trying to cast it to the Chromecast.
Oh, so you press the settings button. You're still in the plank room, but you get settings.
Yes.
And then there's it's a weird icon. It's
Is it the sharing icon?
No.
Okay.
No. It's a funny looking icon. You can't tell it's a cast icon.
Okay.
Just hover over each one. It tells you what they are.
Is it in the quick settings?
Yeah, it's in quick settings.
Okay. Reset view, microphone, night display, do not disturb, voice commands, bug report, pause eye tracking, pause neural.
Oh, no. Never mind. It's not. I guess it's not in the quick settings. Exit out of that.
Okay.
It's in the settings for the game. You do it from within the game.
Okay. Then I need to do this. Oh, there it is. Found it. Thank you.
Oh, good. Okay.
Okay, so available devices are Chromecast Ultra 363.
Yeah, that's the one you want. Yeah. Oh, good. You're good at this. That's good you have a Quest because...
Yeah, that helps.
Yeah. I don't know what the hell I'm doing in there.
All right, headset casting has begun.
Okay, so John, are you seeing it? So he can see it, but we haven't switched it yet. So you see where you are? Are you in the elevator?
I'm in the elevator.
Have you gone up yet?
No, I haven't gone up yet. Should I go ahead?
Yeah, go ahead. Well, yeah, go up. Might as well start there. You don't go out on the plank yet.
All right, I've pushed plank, and now I'm going up the elevator.
Yeah. It's got little music.
Ooh.
It's kind of weird, huh?
Uh-huh. I can't help but think that it would be a little better if I couldn't see outside of the...
Yeah, you're supposed to... Yeah, you could turn the lights down in the studio, John, if you want. It's a little bright.
That would help.
There's a little rubber piece that they give you, and you can actually buy third party. Oh, that works. That works. Okay.
Wait, cake, donuts, and spider cake?
Yeah, you don't need to do that yet. But see that plank ahead of you?
I do.
Just go and look out the door a little bit.
Up. Oh boy, yeah, okay.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's pretty far down.
Oh, okay, don't go out yet. Oh, now see it blinked off, John. So this is the blinking you were talking about, huh, John? Yeah, that's all right. I don't mind if it blinks off a little bit. All right, just hang on. We got 4 minutes still. If you want...
Oh, there's a rope over there.
Yeah. There's a fun game you can put rockets on your hands and fly around the city.
Oh, that'll make me
That
sick.
one didn't... Well, no, it's funny. That one did not scare me as much.
Oh, hot air balloon.
Yeah, you can actually go up to it. You can go to the roofs of the other buildings. Go back down. We should probably start on the ground floor.
Oh, I don't want to get hit by
I
the
love the music.
elevator door.
The elevator music
I like
cracks
that
me
there's
up.
a little crack in it so you can see.
Yeah, you can see the world going by.
Yeah, so what I'm noticing so far is the responsiveness of the head movements are a lot better on this.
Okay. Is the resolution about the same? I think it probably...
Resolution looks very similar,
Yeah.
for sure. But as I'm moving my head around, it is perfect in...
Do you have a hood you could put over his head?
Oh, yeah, if there's like a blanket or something, even one of those...
What I could give him, you know what I could give him?
cloth.
I could give him the, wait a minute.
Oh, the ostrich thing? What'd you say? Oh. Got it. Whoops. I'll put that back on.
Hey, put the hat back on. No cheating.
It fell off. It fell off.
Oh, it fell off. Okay. This is the funniest thing ever. Okay, a minute and a half. I was watching the video of me playing this.
Oh, that's always funny.
And my voice went up like 3 octaves.
Oh.
I can't go. I can't do it.
Nervous?
I can't do it.
Like that? Yeah, I wonder. Here, yeah. I just can't cover this
Kim's
part.
going to help.
Oh, you can't cover that?
No, because that's got cameras in it.
Oh, that's the problem. I get it. Can you fasten it underneath?
Oh, I could put it on first. Yeah, let me do that. If we've got time. I'll put it on first. Undo.
He's going to wear... It's not worth $1,600, Maverick. It's and actually one of the reasons we're doing this, which is good, is because Micah has the Quest 2. So he has the $300 predecessor. I don't know if this is going to work, Micah.
Oh,
Hat not included. Oh, now you have to start over, I guess.
There we go.
Yeah. You have to click the safety thing.
All right, there we go. Yeah, that's a little better.
Well, hey, how are you today, Leo Laporte and Micah Sargent, your tech guys here. 8888 Ask Leo, the phone number if you want to give us a ring, talk tech. We've got Micah suited up now in the other studio. He's in the big room because you need a lot of room. We're going to try out this new Quest Pro. This is the $1,600 virtual reality visor that Meta sells. And the Pro, I don't know what the point of the Pro is. The Pro is so that you can, I don't know. Anyway, Micah, can you hear me?
I can hear you, Leo.
In order for Micah to do this, we've had to actually put him in a soundproof hat. He has to wear a winter hat. He's playing this game that we were talking about earlier called Richie's Plank, which is a kind of simple little game. He thinks you think you're in an elevator, right? In a city.
Yeah, I'm walking into the elevator, and there's a sign that says, hey, consider any health conditions.
Yeah.
But there are buttons on the side.
Yeah, go up in the elevator. Go up to the plank.
Okay, so I'm going to tap on the plank.
Yeah.
And it gives me a little haptic vibration.
And there's the elevator music, which is appropriate. Now you're going up.
Here we go. We're going up.
In fact, you can kind of see through the crack in the door that you're going up. You're going up in a skyscraper in a city. Oh, and there you go. Now, you have a view of the city. I'm going to describe this for the radio audience. There's a helicopter going over, birds. You're pretty high up.
I'm very high up.
And there's a little teeny weeny plank just coming right off the elevator. Do you feel, okay, how do you feel right now?
Okay, so as I'm looking out, I will tell you, as we were testing this, I was not feeling that apprehension. But I think with the addition of the flaps, it is making it a little bit more realistic.
It's darker now for him. He can't see that he's in a room. You feel like you're there, right?
My palms are a little sweaty right now.
Yeah.
Leo.
So this is the test, because it was my contention at the beginning of the show that your rational mind knows you're in a room. We can see the room you're in. You're on a carpet. You're not going to fall. But your body or some part of your mind believes this virtual experience.
That lizard brain, right?
And it's so hard to walk out on this plank. Go ahead and you feel like you
so
might...
I'm going to take a step.
Okay.
But what I hate is that as I'm starting to look out, it's making these creaking sounds.
Yeah, the plank creaks.
That is not very nice.
Also, you can't see your feet, which means that it's a little harder to...
Whoa.
Yeah.
The shadow. I can see the shadow of my body. Okay, this is... Yep. Okay, here we go.
He's walking out on the plank, folks. Yeah, my voice went up about 3 octaves when I did this.
Yeah, I can see the clouds below me. Okay, don't like this.
So if you can imagine this, his view is like he's on a tiny little board. I don't know, 80.
Oh my goodness!
Did you fall?
It was going to make me fall.
Oh, you fell.
That's horrible.
Oh! You didn't hurt yourself though, did you? You just land on the sidewalk.
It does vibrate the hands at the very end there.
You just had a near-death experience. I think I see the light at the white light.
Yeah.
You're back down at the bottom floor.
At the bottom of the elevator.
Okay, you don't have to do any more if you don't want to.
I'm just gonna
tell me about your.
Yeah, so I'll tell you about the experience
Yeah.
because I do have the the Meta Quest 2, which is the updated Meta Quest, and it is the less expensive version. As I was telling Leo in the break, this is a much more responsive headset than I expect with the Quest.
So when you turn and move,
turn my head, even the micro movements that I'm making, it is perfectly tracking the environment, which is the Quest 2 sometimes, especially with little movements, has a bit of a judder, and because of that, I end up getting a little bit more nauseated. This right now, I can feel that it would maybe take a lot longer for me to feel nauseated.
that's one of the causes of the nausea is latency, and it's what the people who make these things say. I think there are other causes as well, but yeah, the latency isn't.
And I also noticed this one's a little bit different. It's hard to explain, but they try to give a certain. What's the term for when something in front of you is either blurred or not blurred? Especially when you're aperture,
like focal length.
Yeah, focal length.
Yeah.
Thank you, focal length.
Yeah.
The focal length is better on this because you can be not too close to an item in the Quest 2 and they start to blur it out.
Yeah.
This has, I don't know if it's because of the resolution or what have you, but it feels more realistic to what my actual eyes can do.
Try another button in the elevator. What else can you?
I'm going to try here.
Oh, wait a minute. No. Don't do that. Ring the bell. See that Salvation Army bell right outside the door? Go ahead and pick that up and ring it.
Okay, I'm going to grab it by pulling the trigger.
Yeah,
there.
you're pretty good at this. And ring it.
Da-ding, da-ding, da-ding.
Yeah, and somebody's going to come by and give you money. No.
Oh, that's too bad they didn't animate it. All right, we're going somewhere.
Yeah, you're going to become, you're Santa.
On Dasher, on Dancer,
and you're going to have to deliver some presents. So start it by ringing that bell. And watch, the reindeer are going to take you for a little ride.
I don't have all of them. That's just, let's see, that's...
Well, you got Rudolph.
Comet, Cupid, Donder, Blitzen, and Rudolph.
Yeah, very good. I'm impressed.
Okay, here we go.
You could tell a reindeer.
I could tell the reindeer from their tuchus.
From behind. You're going to go up. Oh, how's that feel? You're flying through the air.
Now, if I see, when I was looking forward, I was
You're trying to whip.
But then I looked down,
and
it's not as bad, I'll tell you, as being on the plane.
They're going to come and stop by chimneys, and you have to throw presents down the chimneys. That's the game.
Okay. So we're coming out of the North Pole now, and just as the North Pole works, the city is right outside of the North Pole, a giant city.
Yeah. Well, Santa's got magic capabilities of moving very, very quickly.
Sort of like
Look at that moon. It's a beautiful moon.
That is pretty.
Yeah.
He actually brings the moon closer on Christmas.
That's true. It's for lighting purposes.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. He needs to see it nice.
This is an inexpensive, silly game. In fact, my friend Gary, who is a VR guru, he's been doing this for 20 years, gifted it to me because he said it cured him of his fear of heights.
Oh, okay.
Did not. It actually gave me a
You
fear
didn't
of
have
heights.
it before. You played this game.
Yeah, this terrifies
and it
me.
also added a fear of reindeer.
Well, in addition, yeah.
So are we coming up?
Are you having fun? I mean,
I like this. This is a lot more fun than the plank. I'll tell you.
Yeah,
that.
this is a game. You get points for every present you get down a chimney.
Now I just crouched down, and I like that it came with me.
Yeah, you have more cameras on this in more places, and one of the other things that's really different about there you go. See if you can get that in the chimney.
This is a Oculus Quest
for Jimmy. Jimmy. You got a point.
Is it just one?
Yeah, you have to. There's a lot of presents.
I mean, yeah, because look, I don't know if I have enough.
Oh, they keep coming.
Can I
give you a tip?
Okay.
When you throw them, more come back.
Oh, good. I'm just going to put these up in the front.
Santa has an endless supply.
That's part of the magic, right?
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. This is a toothbrush for Sally.
Nice shot, Santa. 2 points to Santa. Woo. So this is a silly little game. There are other better games on there. I enjoyed some of the dancing games like Beat Saber, it's called.
Oh, yeah.
And there are actually gamey games. In fact, there was an Evil Dead game that was actually kind of scary. But, honestly, not as much fun as a game you'd play on your PC or your console.
Because they've got to... Oh, that's actually starting to make me dizzy.
You missed.
When I was looking down at that made me, nope, can't do that. It gives me this buzz in the back of my brain that's kind of like sickly feeling.
You feel like you're flying through the air in a sleigh.
Oh no, I need to pass this on. That's a podcast microphone.
Very nice.
Karen.
Karen has aspirations.
Yes.
Well, I thought we'd play with this a little bit. How do you feel if you were told it's 4 times more expensive than your Quest 2?
That I feel is a little much. I will say that. I'm going to pause so that the audio isn't too loud. I think that's a ridiculous price, but I will say I do think that it's at least worth more than the Quest 2 that I have.
And what Meta's pushing in conjunction with Microsoft is productivity software, which I bought, but I haven't done yet, that you could do Windows, you could do Office, you can do Word. That game was called Richie's Plank. It is a great thing to show people if you have a Oculus and you want to kind of show people what the challenge of it is and the reality of it is. It's a great game for that. But not a deep game. You're not going to play it for very long. But
and I noted to Leo that the controllers are a lot heavier than the one.
That's
on the
interesting.
Quest 2. So really, you're just paying for the lead weights inside of the controllers. That's where the 1400 is.
More stuff. iFixit.com did a teardown of the Quest Pro, and they said it is virtually unfixable. Some very interesting technology. There's some missing technology too. There's a slot for something that they thought might be. For depth perception, that's not filled in. It's just an empty slot. So maybe there's more they can do with this. But there you go. That's our mini review.
How does this do pass through?
And we're watching it on the Chromecast. You can also cast it to a web browser on your computer, so others can see what you're doing. The pass through, if you exit the game.
Okay, I'll exit.
And you, there's some games where you can see. Yeah, because you want to see, that's the big difference is you have a color view of the room. Now you're in your kind of
my main
special
zone. Place.
Maybe
I can activate pass through. Yeah, there we go, pass through.
And now you'll be able to see the studio. We can't, unfortunately, but you can.
Oh, that's right, because it
doesn't go through the Chromecast, but you can see the room around you. It's in color right now,
Yes,
right?
It is. Wow. Okay, this right here is a lot better than the Quest 2. And that way I can see that if you're trying to do the productivity stuff, then in this case, this would be helpful. Because what I love about the Quest is that you can scan in a desk and you can make your keyboard appear in this mixed reality space and then have as many displays as you want. So with this in color, it'd be a lot easier to get that set up. It would be a lot easier to use that to kind of play around in that. And that's what you mentioned is that you've got these different games for that.
And Office and so forth. Obviously Meta, Microsoft, and even companies like Apple and Google trying to find the next big thing think that this perhaps is the next big thing.
I think AR is the next big thing, not VR.
So VR is where you can't see the world. AR is what you've got right now where you can see the world and there's stuff superimposed on the world. And I think you're right. That's probably, from a productivity point of view, it's not going to make people as nauseous. What game are you going to play now?
I was just clicking on synth writers.
Okay, that's a really fun game, but set it on easy.
Oh no. I did normal.
Have fun, Micah. 8888. Bye-bye. 8888. Ask Leo. Leo Laporte, Micah Sargent. More of your we'll do some more calls. We want to do a little review. Play some synth writer. Oh, come on.
I lost.
Yeah. Go to the easy, please.
It's warm in here.
It's fun, isn't it?
Yeah, it is fun.
There's a Lizzo on Beat Saber. I bought some Lizzo music if you want to. It's kind of fun to do this to Lizzo.
All right, I'm going to come out of this.
Okay.
It's hot.
Okay. Is it jumping the shark? That's the question from Redacted. It's fun. I still have like a week to return it.
Oh.
I can't decide.
Well, you should let me borrow it for a couple of days, and then you can return it.
Oh, I should have. I didn't think of this. I should have brought the charging plate.
And does it only recharge via the plate, or is there USB-C or something?
There's USB-C. I don't know about the controllers. Look at the controllers, see if they have a USB-C port. There is a USB-C port on the helmet.
All right, let's see about the
Yeah, because you could totally borrow that. I wouldn't mind at all.
Oh,
I forgot. I should have thought of that and brought you the charging.
I guess the controllers do have to charge via the plate.
Oh, that's too bad. Well, I'll give it to Sebastian
on Tuesday?
on Tuesday, yeah. Take him.
Oh, yeah, tomorrow. He'll be in tomorrow.
Okay, good. Take him.
Okay.
And I'll bring the charger tomorrow.
Sweet, thanks. Yeah, I'll give it a real try, but what I want to do is play Beat Saber on it and on mine.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Compare that.
And you'll like the Lizzo. Do you have the Lizzo at home?
I think we do have Lizzo on ours.
Oh, yeah. I know I'm a Lizzo fan, too. And there's nothing better than shooting down bricks with
Lizzo in the background.
in the background, yeah.
She's like cheering you on.
Baby, how you doing?
I feel so free using this Sennheiser to monitor the audio right now. It's nice.
Yeah, we did a good job.
I feel like I can just run around the place. We'll have to use these for our future plans.
Yeah, we could do the whole show like outside.
Yeah.
Hey, we should do that sometimes. When it's spring or summer and the weather's nice, spread a blanket.
Oh my goodness, picnic with Leo and Micah.
We could do the show outside. There is a camera drop right out our front door, so we can do that actually. Have we used it, John? We've used it, I think, yeah.
Oh, my hair is such a mess.
Dad, do the music. Leo Laporte, Micah Sargent, your tech guys. Whew, we got Micah out of the VR helmet just in the nick of time here.
Indeed. I'm back in the saddle and out of the headset.
So you can take that home. You can play with it, try it.
Compare it to the Quest 2.
Compare it to your existing thing. I think that's a good idea.
Will they make me nauseous?
I think it's pretty clear, though, that nobody should spend $1,600. You'd have to be.
No. I really do think that they're trying to market this for
professionals.
Companies.
Yeah. Professional what? I don't know. Yeah. 8888 Ask Leo is the phone number. Kim in Argenta, Illinois. Thanks for being so patient while we messed around, Kim.
No kidding. You're so great, Leo.
Thank you. We did mess around a little bit. We're kids in a candy store, basically. So.
Hey, I'm the same way.
Good.
Okay. I have a serious beef with TV and movie producers. I am 70, and most of my friends are above 60. Mm-hmm. And we have a hard time, well, not a lot of us have a hard time listening to movies and television shows because the audio is so damn loud. What is going on? And I don't know how to control it. And that's really what my call was about, is seeing if you knew a way to separate the music from the voice.
We have a fix, but we also know why it's this way. In fact, I'm going to put in the show notes at techguylabs.com a great article from some months ago in /film. And the title of the article by Ben Pearson is, Here's Why Movie Dialogue Has Gotten More Difficult to Understand. It's the dialogue, right? It's the spoken word that it's hard to hear. Is that right?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. That's because, well, there are a number of reasons. I mean, the fix has to do with one of the reasons, which is that these days movies are mixed for surround sound. That's what's in the theater. And many people in their home theater also have surround sound, which means they have not just the speakers and the TV, they have left, right, they have surrounds, they have a subwoofer, and most importantly, they have something called the center channel. And they mix these movies and TV shows, when they mix them for surround, for the center channel. That's where the dialogue is. If you had a system that was a surround sound system, all of them offer a way to turn up the volume in the center channel. I keep mine, because I'm 65, be 66 in a few weeks. I keep my center channel up about 5 dB. Actually, I was watching the World Series, and they are aggressively mixing the World Series to surround sound. They want you to feel like you're at the ballpark. So the announcers are, like talking in this giant roar of a crowd the whole time, and I can barely hear them. So I turned up the center channel there about to 10 dB, which is it's a significant amount louder, and I could hear it. So that's one fix, is to see, and for your friends who have multiple speakers, to see if there's a setting for the center channel. If you are just are you just listening on the TV speakers, or do you have a sound bar?
No, I don't have a sound bar.
Yeah. So a sound bar might help, because then you can turn up the center channel. Sound bars have center channels as well. But the TV speakers are not very good. And now you've got a bigger problem, because there are other reasons why it's so bad. Directors like Christopher Nolan, who directed the Dark Knight series and Interstellar, does it on purpose. Does it on purpose. In fact, in our generation, Robert Altman was famous for doing this. If you watch McCabe and Mrs. Miller, there's a lot of mumbling, and people, they're saying something, and we're used to the actors saying something. That's part of the story. Shouldn't we be able to hear it? But directors like Nolan say, no, real life, you don't hear everything. People mumble, they say things in there. It drives me crazy. But that's one problem, is it's an aesthetic choice. The other problem is actors often these days are trying to be more naturalistic. Marlon Brando pioneered this. Remember, he mumbled, he would, I'm a 2-bit punk, which is what I am. He would sometimes, and that's more real, but it's daunting to an audience that thinks everything you're saying is important to the story, which it often is. Also, according to Slash Film, sound isn't well respected on sets. We had a sound guy call us a few months ago, and I asked him, and he said, yeah, if you're the sound recordist and you're on a set of a TV show or movie, you know if that dialogue is going to be there. But most of the time, the director won't listen to you. If you don't feel like you can say, hey, you know what, we got to do another take. I couldn't hear it. I couldn't hear the dialogue. The director is not going to be open to that. It's too expensive. They want to move on. And they often will say, oh, we'll fix it in post. We'll fix it later in the editing. We'll bring in, some what they call ADR to re-record that, to bring the actor in. But often they don't do that. So it's very common, because of budgets and schedules, and because, unfortunately, the sound recordists are not as honored as they might have been, that they just don't record it well. Now, there's nothing you can do if it's an actor's mumbling, or a director doesn't want you to hear it. If it's Robert Altman, he doesn't want you to hear it, or the recordist isn't getting his way. The only technological thing is to go in there and turn up the center channel. And if you don't have a sound bar, that's going to be hard to do. Leo and Micah, you're tech guys. So hang on, because I had to end that because it's radio. But we could still talk.
Okay.
So do read this article.
Do you have a recommendation
for a soundbar?
Yeah.
So there's
or either one, surround or
putting in a surround system is complicated, because then you have to get a lot of equipment. So you're going to have to get an AV receiver, and you're going to have to get at least 4 speakers, if not 6 or 8 or 9 speakers. So it gets it gets expensive and complicated. That's the ideal way to do it. I have at home a surround, it's a 5.1 surround, a subwoofer, center channel, left, right, and 2 surrounds. And to be honest, even when I turn up the center channel on the World Series, I couldn't hear it.
What about these modern soundbars that have that special voice boost thing?
They're doing the same thing. Yeah, they're boosting the center channel. So that's probably the best thing to do. Scott Wilkinson likes the VIZIO soundbars, VIZIO. You can get those on Amazon or any stereo store, or even Target will have VIZIO. They have a broad range. The least expensive ones are not, are like $130. They're not great. I would look at something, it depends on how much you can spend, right? So they have an M series, which is more expensive. The nice thing about I got the M series. I wasn't thrilled with it, but it does have a center channel in the soundbar, and then it also has surrounds, and they're wireless, which is nice. So you can actually, the wireless part is the subwoofer, which the surrounds connect to, but those can be in another part of the room easily.
You know what's common among young folks these days?
As a young folk, would you speak for them?
Yeah. I would speak for them in this case, especially. We all like to have closed captioning turned on for everything. And
my son is like that.
Yeah.
My son does that.
That goes to the part of it being intentionally like you can't hear it.
Right.
So, in fact, I find often with the subtitles turned on, you hear. I know I couldn't hear that, but for some reason they put it
in the sound.
They put it in the subtitles, so you'll get a lot more out of a lot of shows
when people are whispering, especially,
or background actors who aren't really part of the scene saying something, and you go, "What?"
Yeah,
and you would never have heard that. So it's no shame to turn on the subtitles.
Not at all.
I do that, of course. Everybody does it now.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's terrible. Young kids with their headphones too. They're going to damage their ears.
Oh, I have tinnitus from a long career in radio with headphones that are too loud, and before that, as a kid, just sitting next to speakers. And
I've got protections turned on everything so that it never gets too loud.
I was at a AC/DC tribute band last night, and my watch, which has this very nice feature, kept shouting at me, "It's over 100 dB. It's over 100 dB. Your ears are gonna get damaged." And that's a great thing about the Apple Watch. I had earplugs in, so I wasn't worried about it.
Yeah.
But
that was good.
The whole concert was way too loud, and that's pretty common. So I feel bad for kids, and I don't think they know. And you know how it is when you're a kid. You think your knees will last forever, your ears will last forever, your shoulder will last forever.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
You have no idea. So I don't know what the best.
I really appreciate.
Oh, at least you're not alone. It's a very common thing. We'll put this article from /Film in the show notes because it's really an interesting read.
Where do you find the show notes?
TechGuyLabs.com. Did I already put the link in for you? I did. Okay. Micah does those. He works really hard on them, so I probably should tell you.
Okay.
To read them. Hey, thank you. It's a pleasure talking to you, Kim.
Yes. Thank you.
Yeah. Take care. There are nowadays, I think, you're going to see more hearing aids, things like that.
Because they're OTC now, over the counter.
And you're going to see them. For instance, I wear my Apple AirPods with an Apple TV, and it will let you improve the sound and understand what's going on.
And it's interesting, a lot of the budget TV tech has those boost the vocals features.
Yep. Leo Laporte, Micah Sargent. Yeah, that's Yoko singing. Sure. Leo Laporte, Micah Sargent. This is the Tech Guy Show 8888. Ask Leo. It's really a universal thing. And as you pointed out, Micah, young people... There was just an article in the New York Times about this. Almost invariably use the subtitles.
Yep.
Which used to be for almost an embarrassing thing for me as a senior.
Like a shame to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, these days, on the rare occasion that I go over to someone's house and they are watching a show and there's no captions, I'm like, what is anyone saying? How does anyone watch like this? I don't know what anyone is saying.
How did that happen? Is it because of TikTok?
I honestly don't know. I have been doing it for a long time. And for me, it was specifically because I wanted to hear what was going on. It's what you talked about, where you said sometimes there'll be someone in the background saying something and you don't pick up on it. I had that happen enough times that I'm like, there is value in getting these captions here so that I can hear by reading everything that's being said. And for me, that's all it took. But I think that you're right. There is a level of social media. A lot of people will scroll through stuff and they'll read what the video is.
Yeah, I don't have the audio turned on TikTok.
Yeah.
Because it's the middle of the night and I don't want to wake up my wife.
Right.
But the tech. In fact, now Android and iOS both have automated captioning for everything. So you're watching a YouTube video, it'll just put captions on. And they do a pretty good job. There's no shame to turning on subtitles.
Not at all.
It's a little distracting. I mean, I don't really want to read the subtitles. I want to watch.
Yeah, once you do it enough, it really does become kind of second nature, where it doesn't distract me. It's weird how I then consume that media, because it's almost like I've got one eye focused on what's going on and the other eye is reading. Yeah, it just works.
That explains why your eyes are so
why my
weird.
eyes are,
8888 ask Leo. We will, in the show notes at techguylabs.com, put this great article from Slash Film that explains the whole thing. It explains it all. The other one that I didn't mention is there's this syndrome of, I've heard this scene, this is the 15th take. I know exactly what they're saying.
So you don't realize.
The director, the sound guy, nobody realizes, nobody can understand what he's saying. You just know what he's saying.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go to Vicky on the line from Rancho Palos Verdes, California. Hi, Vicky.
Hi, this is Vicky.
Welcome. You're on the air.
Thank you. I have two questions.
Okay.
The first one is I just got a new MacBook Pro, and I was really, really happy with my old one. And I had Office 2007 on my old one. And when I brought everything across to my new MacBook Pro, it worked pretty seamlessly, but my Office, it says that it's old and it won't open it up. And I was wondering if there was any way to make it work, because
it's too old, and it's a 32-bit app, which means you need to get a more recent version. Office 2019 and up support your new MacBook's Apple Silicon chip. But even a little bit older would still work because there is a emulation layer. But if it's really old, it's not going to work because that's 15 years old. That's really old. So it's a 32-bit app. And Apple, starting with Catalina, said, no, your apps have to be 64-bit. So there's a few choices here. Do you really need Office?
Yes.
Okay. For work or whatever. Because remember, Apple comes with a word processor called Pages, a spreadsheet called Numbers.
And they all open the Microsoft Office documents.
And write Office documents. Mm-hmm. And I think for many, they're better programs. There's a presentation manager. Instead of PowerPoint, you'll use Keynote, which is excellent. So that's one option. Microsoft has an online web-based version of Office that's free at office.com that will work. And for basic Office use, that's a good free choice. But you can also, and I did this, I bought Office. They have a subscription now. And the personal version of Office is about $8 a month. It's a lot less than going out and buying a new copy of Office. I'm sure that's why you're still using 2007. It's so expensive, right?
Well, the whole subscription model is not my favorite.
Yeah. Well, I hate to tell you, it's a future.
The way of the world.
It's not my favorite either. I don't like it, but that's how Microsoft does it. And if you look at the cost of buying Office outright, they call it the perpetual license, versus the monthly or yearly cost, it really is less expensive to just buy it a year at a time. It's like $86 a year.
Oh, Scooter X in the chat found a deal for the
$59.99 for Office, Home and Business lifetime license 2-pack. Well, that's a good deal. So we'll put that link. It's from stacksocial.com. Makes me a little nervous. Sometimes these companies are reselling those cards you get in your new computer that give you a year's license to Office. So I'd be careful, but if it's a real copy of Office, that's a good deal. $70 a year for Office if you do the subscription. And I think that's a lot more affordable. The other choices are, there's Google Docs. There are a lot of online Office solutions besides Microsoft's Office.com that for many people fit the bill as well. So, and I should also mention there's a free open source Office clone called LibreOffice, Libre Office.com, that a lot of people like. It reads and writes Microsoft documents, and it's absolutely free. So there are other choices, but if you really want Office, you're going to have to upgrade.
I'm going to have to do these. Okay, I can do that.
Okay.
The other question is an annoyance to me. I use Gmail and also other pages that a lot of times the links aren't working on Safari. And this is a brand new computer right out of the box, but I also had the same problem on my old MacBook Pro, but the problem crept up within the last less than a year. And so I have to do a copy and then paste and go in order to circumvent that problem. But links should work.
So you're saying when you click on the link, it's not going to the page that you're trying to get it to go to?
No, it gets me to the search marquee when I click on it.
Oh, that's interesting.
It doesn't get me to the link.
There are a couple of possibilities. It's always risky to click links in email because what looks like it's going to yahoo.com, that's the text you see on the email, it's going to hacker.ru and it's hidden underneath. So it may be a security thing that Apple's doing to keep you from clicking the link in the email. If you type it in or you cut and paste the text and paste it in, that's safe because you're actually going to yahoo.com or a legit site. You're not going to the underlying hidden hacker site. So that's the first thing I would say.
But it's also when I'm at another site and I click on it, it also does a lot of times inconsistently won't go to.
And it goes to a search page?
Yep.
I'm worried that you may have an extension.
Yeah, that's what it's
a malicious extension installed that makes money every time you go to that search page. What search does it go to? Google?
No, it goes to something called Search Marquee.
There you go, bingo! you got a browser hijacker on your system.
Okay, how do I get rid of it?
If you type in Search Marquee on Google, the first result is remove Search Marquee virus from Mac.
Clear your browser cache, open Safari, click the Develop tab in the top menu, and then Empty Caches, and then Clear History. Finally, click Safari from the top menu, navigate to Preferences, Privacy, Manage Website. This is a complicated thing. We'll put a link at techguylabs.com. There's several steps. Yeah, you have a browser. It's called a browser hijacker object, or BHO. And Search Marquee makes money every time you load that site. So that's why that's happening. So get rid of that, and you'll probably go back to the normal operation.
Yep. Head to techguylabs.com, and we'll have a great link for you from Trend Micro that talks all about.
Yeah, that's a good antivirus company. But I should point out, that's why it's dangerous to click links in email, because that's how you got it in the first place. So it's still better to hand type in those addresses in the address bar. That's exactly how you get it. GizWiz Dick D. Bartolo, Mad's Maddest Writer, and our Gizmo Wizard coming up next. Woo-wee! Everybody, get out your whistle. Toot, toot. Got to do some dancing. Oh, I like those white disco boots. Dick D. Bartolo, Mad's dancingest writer, and your GizWiz is here. Hello, Dickie D. Uh-oh, are you? Oh, push the button. Wait a minute, what's going on? He's getting something. Oh, you need a microphone. So let me tell you a little something about radio. What's your microphone doing over your head?
I had it. I was trying to look at my background before we went on the air, and I lifted it up, and I forgot to bring it back down.
He's talking, but nothing's happening.
Oh my gosh, it is now.
Great to see you, Dick. Every week he joins us with a gizmo or a gadget that I try very hard and usually fail not to buy. What do you got?
You know, you're not going to buy this.
Oh, hallelujah.
This is. Yeah, no, because it's beyond stupid, and
I love that.
You'll be fine. You'll be fine, Leo. This one's fine.
John says, my studio manager says, that's never stopped you before. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, they're called finger chopsticks.
I have them. Yep. I already have them for eating Cheetos.
What?
Oh, that's the silliest thing.
Okay, so Micah gave me a little hint. He said, Leo's going to love these. He actually uses them. The wild thing about this, Leo, is like 3 times a year for ABC, I do a thing called Gadgets You May Not Know About.
Yeah.
And I did these thinking they were dumb. And OMG Chad, the co-host of GizWiz, told me about them. People love them.
Oh, I love mine. You know why? When you eat Cheetos, your hands get all orange, and then, you've got on your, You've got Alcantara, Micah,
Oh,
on your
yeah, on that
Windows
Windows machine.
laptop.
What, is Alcantara there?
Al is the best, but
Oh,
unfortunately
my gosh.
he attracts Cheeto dust. So it's a really good thing to have something to keep the Cheetos off the Alcantara.
I actually exclusively type with these. I don't even use my fingers. I just use these chopsticks.
Well, look, show this, Dick, because you can type while the chopsticks are on. Because your fingers are free. Yeah.
Your fingers are free. And I'm thinking maybe ships should have these at buffets.
Amen.
So if you want olives or something like that, you could just pick them up without. And I bought a bunch of them from different manufacturers, and they all seem to be the same product. So I found them 8 for $8. So that's just a buck a piece.
Okay, that's good, but do you really need 8 of them?
Well, no, I got 7 strangers in just to try them out. I mean, I spent 8 for the things.
It's
but
such a
they must
deal.
have eaten
I bought 8 of them.
$200 worth of food.
You only got 2 fingers. Well, I guess you could put them on every finger, but that's silly. That's silly. 8 for $8.
No.
Where is that on Amazon?
That's on Amazon, and I believe Amazon has a sale. I know you might buy this. I just bought 300
chopsticks,
AAA batteries for $25.
I need them because when the clock falls back, as it will tomorrow.
Are you sure they're not just models of AAA batteries?
No,
plastic?
it's. I believe they are Amazon brand.
Oh,
that's a good brand.
Yeah.
I buy those. Yeah.
And they are 300 for $25.
It does seem like, but the clocks change tomorrow, and you know what we're supposed to do when the clocks change?
I don't even know which one is it.
Jump, go backwards.
Yeah, no, we fall back, but we're also supposed to.
Oh my goodness!
You didn't believe it, did you? I have the same exact.
Oh my word!
No, but no, we're doing a duet. Would you like a pair?
Yeah.
Yes, thank you. We can make music.
We could make.
Oh, my fingers don't really. Maybe I should move them further
you know
down.
what? You'll get stronger.
I got it. Oh, there we
as
go.
you use these, you'll
A little
get
bit
stronger.
easier.
The learning curve is usually
It's a
40
therapeutic
seconds.
tool, actually.
Now, okay, let me finish my thought.
Yeah, please.
Go ahead.
Change the batteries in your smoke
anyway,
alarm.
I was talking. No.
Stop it. Change the battery in your smoke alarm tomorrow. You're supposed to do it every time the clocks move.
Oh, okay.
That way you always
But
have
don't put
fresh smoke.
AAA's in there. Do
Well,
a 9 volt.
You know what? I have smoke alarms that use
AAA's.
not AAA's.
Really?
They use AA's though.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Do they have a deal
Okay.
on 9
No,
volts? Because most of them use 9 volts. You're right.
Yeah. So, okay. Well,
I don't know if that's
you
clean.
have these.
You saying don't put this in my mouth?
I'm saying don't put it in your mouth.
What's the point?
Well, wait a minit.
It's a tongue
now I thought
depressor.
I thought we were being very hygienic here.
Not anymore. It just goes right for the mouth.
Well, I'm like a child. It's either that or the nose, right?
Note to people visiting Twit after COVID: do
Don't
not use the finger chopsticks.
I don't know where
Unless
these have
they're-
been. John
Lend
just
me an
ran
ear.
them in. Yeah. But I use these for, like I said, Cheetos, or better yet, those planter cheese balls.
Yeah, cheese balls.
They're just right for that. And then,
Oh, okay.
yeah, and so you could still type with the chopsticks on your
You
fingers.
can leave them on.
You just leave them on. You never, and so you type. Have a cheese
You know
ball.
what these
type,
would be
type, type,
great
type.
for? If
What?
you make tea afterwards, you lift the tea bag.
You could take the tea
squeeze
bag
them.
out. There are 1,000,001
Okay,
uses, so
actually,
maybe you
yeah,
should buy 8 of
Absolutely.
them.
Yeah, one for each thing. I've got my tea squeezer, my nose grabber, my tongue depressor, my ear cleaner, my post-it picker-upper, and the one for cleaning
and
up belly button.
two
lint.
for spares.
And 2 for exactly.
If you want to know more,
You surely do.
and I know you do, go to gizwiz.biz. That's Dick's website. Click the blue button that says the GizWiz visits the tech guy, and you can find the link to these. They're all the same, aren't they?
They're all, yeah. As I said, I ordered them from 3 different places, and they all came exactly the same.
Well, I don't know. Do yours have ribbed insides so you can really rip?
Yes. Yes, near the tip.
Oh, wow. Maybe they are all the same.
I believe they are.
Might as well get
Yes.
$8 for $8 at Amazon.
Yeah.
I just bought it.
Did you really?
Yeah, because I didn't have any already, and I think they're fun. I don't really eat anything that'll need it, but maybe popcorn.
Mine are two-tone. See, they have little
this part?
inset. Well,
It's like a magnet.
It's style. It's just style. It's a little, put a little leather inset there.
I'm gonna get Mother of Pearl.
Do yours have that?
No, you bought the leather bound.
I get the luxury finger chopsticks. While you're at gizwiz.biz, you might also want to click the button that says, "What the heck is it?" Because
it's a new game.
We have a new game.
It's time.
So what was the last two? Oh, it was a knife.
Leo, that is one of the
This is
weirdest.
hilarious.
You stuff veggies in the thing.
Tiny veggies.
It's only for like cherry tomatoes to cut them in half.
It got horrendous reviews because someone said, by the time you fit 4 little cherry tomatoes in there and close it up and put it back on the base.
Oh, God.
I would have never guessed.
Cocktail onions.
Or slicing grapes.
The Kitchen IQ Veggie Slicer. Wow. And a number of people, including Gordon Ramsay, got that right. So they got an autographed copy of Mad Magazine. Now we've got a new Gizmo Gadget. It looks like, I'll be honest with you, I think I had this in my hamster cage.
I was going to say it's a blender for hamsters.
Yeah. They can make margaritas. They can make pina coladas.
Wow. I guess it was just too easy.
Yeah. Try harder next time, will you?
Go to gizwiz.biz, play the contest. You're playing for an autographed copy of Mad Magazine, autographed by this cat right here, Dick D. Bartolo. Yes, he has a wonderful podcast at gizwiz.tv, and he joins us every week. Thank you, Dickie D.
Okay, buddy. See you next week.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, Micah Sargent. Great to have you in the house. So much fun.
Always a good time.
We'll get you in some other gizmo or gadget next time. Thanks to Professor Laura, our musical director, who plays those fun songs in between, and with her band, of course.
Yes.
I never mentioned the band, but thank
Laura
you. And the Dominoes.
There we go. Yeah.
And, of course, Kim Schaffer, our phone angel. Most of all, thank you for being here. We'll see you next time. Leo Laporte, Micah Sargent. Have a great Geek Week.
Bye.
Well, that's it for the Tech Guy Show for today. Thank you so much for being here. And don't forget, TWIT, T-W-I-T. It stands for This Week in Tech, and you'll find it at twit.tv, including the podcasts for this show. We talk about Windows on Windows Weekly, Macintosh on Mac Break Weekly, iPads, iPhones, Apple Watches on iOS Today, security on Security Now. I can go on and on. And, of course, the big show every Sunday afternoon, This Week in Tech. You'll find it all at twit.tv. And I'll be back next week with another great Tech Guys show. Thanks for joining me. We'll see you next time.